Yo, what's good, First Smoke family? We got another banger for you guys today. If you want to hear about traveling around the world to each country in alphabetical order, got to check it out with Vibe with Chew. My man Jerry comes on today and lays some heat. His story is incredible. He's a dope-ass content creator. Food and weed, that's what he's all about. At Vibe with Chew. Thank you for coming through and laying it down. Also, you know we got to give a shout out to Dr. Dabber, man. The XS, the Evo, all the new colorways just dropped. Go to the site fsotd.com. Make sure you get the latest code. That's where you'll see all the sponsor codes on our site. Also, raw rolling papers, Elements. We've been using those for over a decade. I think 2012 I stopped smoking blunts and I got straight on the papers. It's been raw and Elements ever since for me. Make sure you go check them out, support them. Put in an order for the Elements king size wide, the raw king size wide black, or the fatties. All the new stuff they got coming out. We appreciate you guys. Keep it locked. Black Leaf will fill you in on the rest. Let's go.
growgeneration.com, stores nationwide or online, discreet shipping for all you cultivators that need it delivered quickly and directly, but you don't need to know it says grow products all over it. Or you can go in store nationwide to any Grow Generation store, and you can also pick up Drip Hydro, which is a new nutrient company, been storming the market now and is absolutely crushing with proven results. Faven Lighting, Under Canopy Lighting. These are all brands we collaborate with and sponsors of the show because of the products they put out and the quality. Faven Under Canopy Lighting, you gotta watch the episode and see the claims and the products and production that they're working with. growgeneration.com, Drip Hydro, and Faven, all the discount codes are always on fsotd.com. And that's also the shop. That's where we have the tips. We drop limited collabs. fsotd.com gets you hooked up. Let's vibe with you.
When I first arrived to Thailand beginning of this year, literally within the span of 2 months, the amount of people I met from different countries, different big names in the game were all gathered in one place, just sharing knowledge, building on each other, and like just helping each other out on cultivating this beautiful products. They're premium. It's crazy. I claim to be the stoner that cooks, right? And that's how I started my channel 2 years ago, literally on 420. And then the rest was history. I wanted to do cooking. I wanted to do smoking of some sort. I love being a stoner. I function high off of everything. This white pickup truck pulls up on us. 9 Talibans hop out the van. We're like freaking out. And they're just like, sorry they scared you. They just want to welcome you. You know, if you guys are comfortable, they would like to escort you to the caves. Everyone is like quiet. We got to the first cave. They go, you first. Okay, what are you gonna tell them?
It's sketchy. Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to First Smoke of the Day. It's your boy Pac in the building here with my co-host, as always, Black Leaf.
What up, what up?
And today we got my man Jerry Chew in the building. Vibe with Chew.
What up, fam?
And
thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
And in Bangkok and LA, back and forth, correct?
Yep.
Which is fire because I just took a trip to Thailand and that's how we got connected. Like 5-6 people told me, yo, you got to get with Chew.
Literally, we just missed each other. Man, I wish we caught each other for real. When you hit me up, I was literally on the ride back to LA. And I'm like, dude, I'm literally on my way back. No, how long you out there for?
Yep.
30 days.
Yep.
How was that for you?
Bro, best trip of my life.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, Thailand is like, I've never been anywhere where I've just been that happy. Like, it's deep. Like, people don't understand until you get there. Like, because everyone was telling me and stuff. They're like, you're going to love it. And I couldn't really realize why. I think the simple reason why is like, people are happy there.
Land a smile for a reason.
Like, every corner I turned, like, I stayed in Bangkok the first, like, 9-10 days. And at my hotel by, like, day 2, day 3, I was just laughing before I even turned the corner because I'm like, oh, this guy, he's going to be standing right there. He's going to bow and he's going to be smiling and like kind of laughing because he's so happy. And he's just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, you don't really get that in the States anymore.
The hospitality out there is insane. Like, dude, everyone got your back. Even if they don't know you, they got your back. You know? It's cool. It's a cool culture out there.
I've never felt so welcomed everywhere and like so appreciated. Like, they're just like, everyone's just happy to be doing what they're doing. And that's it. You know, it's like,
Question.
okay.
Because you've been in the game for a long time. How is the flour out there for you?
So I'm lucky because do you know Shanti?
Shanti, yep.
Shanti
with William?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was like one of my first stops. So he started showing me Thai grown flour. It's like permanent marker crosses and shit. Where I'm like, what? Like I thought it was going to be like more outdoor, light assist looking weed.
Right.
Nope. Fire.
Dude.
And these guys they know what they're doing, and they're crossing relevant genetics already. And it's nothing like watching some of these East Coast states come online because they start growing strains that were from 10 years ago. In Thailand, it's like real veteran players from other places have gone there now to start doing their thing. And that's what's curving the gap.
I think that's what made the huge difference too, right? Like everybody, literally when I first arrived to Thailand beginning of this year, it was so literally within the span of 2 months, the amount of people I met from different countries, different big names in the game, coming to one place. We're all gathered in one place, just sharing knowledge, building on each other, and like just helping each other out on cultivating this beautiful like products. You know, they're premium. It's crazy. I never expected Thailand to start catching up to the quality that a lot of these countries are, you know, took years to get to. Yeah, it was really cool to see.
I met like multiple guys out there, 20, 30, 40-year growers from like UK. Those guys out there from Ireland. I mean, all over. It's the hub basically, you know, and it's cool to see, man, because like Thailand welcomes everybody.
Well, and talk
it's
about
like different,
inspirational food culture.
Yeah.
Like the food and the pictures and the culture out there for food. I'm sure you could talk about it.
Just the culture all around. Even like just going to the malls and seeing all the young people like in the malls gathering and like having fun. Like there was like every time I went to the mall, there was something going on.
The mall culture in Thailand is insane.
Everything's I mean, the malls are crushing over here.
Yeah.
I got to say that.
Yeah.
Because I'm walking around, I'm like, what? Like, holy shit. It's like hanging LED screens and like, it's just a vibe, man. All the way around,
bro. They're like, they're always high rise buildings too with these malls, right? They're like at least 10, 20 stories. And every stories, there's like, you know, balconies out to the outside. There's like indoor, like waterfall. And you're just like, why? You know? But Thailand is so hot all the time. Yeah. And the indoor culture is that. Right. Yep. Because Thailand is always so hot. The air is always really bad. People prefer staying inside. So, you know, a bunch of malls that they built, a lot of people are always constantly there. Yeah.
It's definitely a vibe. And there's like we call it a food court over here, right? Where all the food is. But like over there, the food, I was like, oh man, this is like, it was hard. It's hard to pick where you're going to eat because you're like, everything looks fucking fire. And it is.
Munchies, fam. Like, oh my God.
I gained some weight over there for sure. Yeah. I came back a little heavier.
100%. What do you think the biggest misconception is for people who haven't been to Thailand, where you're like, once you get there?
Oh, bro, so many. I mean, like really though, whenever, even for myself, right? When you first hear Thailand, Bangkok, you think about hangover.
Yeah, 100%.
Hangover too, right? Like them going to Thailand, bro, like lady boys and the monkeys and like all these drugs and nasty scenes. Like we get it, you know, and we've seen it. If you've been to Bangkok, you've seen it, right? You've been to Soy Cowboy, I'm sure. And there's like different streets of like, it's there, right? The club is there, the club scene is there, but there's also the classy part. There's also the day-to-day life, you know, the street food, the night markets, the dispensaries now. There's a lot more to what Bangkok has to offer. Right. It's beautiful. In my opinion, again, people are very nice.
Dude, that's the best part. I mean, guys, like I finally like after like, I think like 8-9 days I cracked and was like, all right, I got to start riding the scooters because I'm sick of sitting in the cars.
It's honestly not that bad. You know
what? The scooter?
Riding the scooters.
Oh, once you learn how, you're not even close to the person.
Like your body kind of learns how to like lean back and forth with the momentum, and you know, you're not falling off.
I was watching guys like get cut off with the scooters though, and they will slow down and bow and let the other guy go. And I was like, I never saw that.
Dude, they were so nice.
There was no road rage. It's the opposite.
It is so chaotic, the traffic out there in Bangkok in general, but like it's organized chaos.
It is.
People figure out a system where, you know, they kind of cut back and forth. Over here, bro, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about you. They're gonna honk at you all day and yell at you and probably
flick you to jump out of the car.
For sure.
People freak out. Over there was none of that.
None of that.
There's real respect over there. That's the other part.
Yeah.
It's little things, you know, taking your shoes off for you in their place. It's just little nuances that makes you start to really appreciate things more and just be happy to, you know, be there and be doing whatever it is you're doing. Everybody, like you said, is helpful. Like I never felt threatened at any point. Like I never felt like, oh man, I gotta watch like what's all this
Never
about?
watched it back, really.
No, dude,
No.
like so safe and like just chill. But I will say this: Bangkok, time moves fast. It's a fast city. It's a fast city. My trip blew by the Bangkok portion. Then I go to Chiang Mai and it was like, ooh, like total, like slow down.
Which one did you like better?
I love Chiang Mai. It was dope, man. It was just such a different vibe. It's kind of like NorCal to SoCal. It's so different. You know what I mean? And then I went down south as well and bounced around as well. I like Koh Samui a lot. Yeah. It was fire over there. It's like a good, like medium pace.
Yeah.
You know, the fire dancers and the vibe down there on the strip. I forget what it's fishermen's or something.
Yeah.
I
The
forget.
boats.
Yeah. So it was a vibe there. And the cool thing is like all the clubs, all the weed clubs, and then you can consume at the clubs, even though they say you're not really supposed to, but they're still letting people do it.
There's so many leeways in Thailand.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, cool. That's what it should be here.
Have you been?
No, I haven't.
Dude, we'll take a trip together. Honestly, it'd be a sick trip.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Could you explain, Jerry, your specialty?
I claim to be the stoner that cooks. Right. And that's how I started my channel 2 years ago, literally on 4/20 of 2022.
Wow, 2 years?
2 years ago. It's been 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It's always, thank you. It's always been an idea to start that since like, man, I wanted to do this since I was in college. It's always been a niche of mine where I love to cook. I've always made lasagnas and like spam musubis and chicken katsus and stuff for my housemates, right? It's always like, you know, I'm always intrigued to do more. And then I wanted to start YouTube back in the day. Never got to it because during that time, 2016, as a college student, I'm like, if I start this, I am tinting my name forever, right? During that time, it was tinting my name because weed was illegal. You know, my parents, again, that was so a little more background story. My parents are from Taiwan. I was born and raised in Taiwan. So back in Asia, this is like illegal. Devil's lettuce, fam.
Yeah.
Right. Like my parents will disown me, you know? So like having that all in factor, I was like, nah, maybe I'll put this on hold. I don't know. Like I've wanted to figure out how to do a YouTube, but what's my niche, right? I love smoking. I love to cook. Maybe that's my niche. We'll see. We'll sleep on that, right? And then, so I never pursued it because of that. I was scared of my parents. I was scared of not being able to get a job after, you know, I graduate. Didn't really have a sense of direction where I wanted to go. And then I ended up becoming an actor, ended up becoming a model for a while, and then pandemic hit, all that went dry, right? So kind of like fell back into, all right, I'm gonna work for a company and whatever. So I ended up getting a remote job during the pandemic. And then during that time too, I also met Elton Castay, right? He runs 2 YouTube channels. One's called TFIL. The other one's called Overnight. When I got connected with him was through a friend. He was looking for PAs, 6 PAs for his Overnight channel. And now Overnight, for those that don't know, that channel is dedicated to anything paranormal. So we are out there ghost hunting at these name locations, asylums and like hospitals and stuff like that. Wow. Just ghost hunting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Different.
So
I love that.
During that time, he was looking for 6 PAs to do an event at the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA. Now, if you don't know what happened at the Cecil, a girl died in the water tank.
Yeah.
Right. That's what happened in the Cecil.
And she was in there for a while. So all the water in the building, where do you think that comes from?
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
People were drinking, showering,
getting
with
sick.
Bro.
How did she die
in the...
It's a crazy
mystery.
Yes.
No one knows. Even to this day, no one really knows.
They think maybe someone drowned her or put her in there, but then maybe
The
she was
water tower on the rooftop,
Yes.
right? Correct?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It's a crazy, but yeah, they say she haunts the building, or this place. Bunches of people have died, overdosed, been murdered, killed. Like, this is a famous landmark.
It's right by Skid Row too.
Yes.
Literally right in front of Skid Row.
Is it still open?
Yes.
It's still open-ish. Like it's still open-ish. It's a weird project right now. I think the last time I heard they were trying to make it into like a shelter.
What's up, First Smoke of the Day crew? Looking for the ultimate vaping experience? Dr. Dabber has got you covered. Dr. Dabber is all about developing the coolest, most innovative vaporizers on the planet. They take risks other companies won't to bring you the best vape pens and electronic dab rigs out there. At Dr. Dabber, they only use top-notch materials. Want to up your vape game? Use promo code FIRSTSMOKE2024 for 15% off drdabber.com. Hit up your local vape shop or swing by their website and see what makes Dr. Dabber the best in the biz. At Dr. Dabber on Instagram or drdabber.com. Use code FIRSTSMOKE2024. Hey, if you guys are interested in under canopy lighting, our friends over at Faven Lighting have you covered. With over 3 years of R&D, they are your commercial solution for under canopy lighting. Connect with them on favenlighting.com or at Faven Lighting on Instagram. Use the code FSOTD and get buy one, get one free, $20 off the second light, or you can get it at favenlighting.com. There's a 32 light max.
For the homeless and stuff, I don't know how that project is going, but it's there.
Well, the state said they were going to buy hotels out and start putting people up. And
Right.
California's got a lot of crazy ideas that go nowhere. But crazy. So you're at the Cecil Hotel doing that.
So that event was supposed to happen.
Okay.
It became a blessing in disguise. He asked people, all 6 of us, what position we wanted to do, because what he was planning to do was every floor was going to be a haunted house. And at the end of it, on the top rooftop, we had Patty, who is certified like witchcraft. She was going to help us basically connect with the spirit, with the girl, and trying to figure out, we're going to do a private investigation on the rooftop. And I guess out of all 6 people, I was the only one that volunteered to do the rooftop. Because why would you not, though? Right? Like, why would you not want to see what this hotel is all about? But long story short, that event never went through. Something went wrong with the management and they ended up pulling the plug on us. So he had to salvage the event. And we're talking about refunding thousands of tickets. He had people from different part of the world wanting to do this investigation with him, you know? Wow. And then, they had to salvage it. We ended up doing it at the haunted hayride in LA Zoo. And then we did an investigation at the suicide bridge in Pasadena.
I know both those places.
Yeah.
I've been to the haunted hayride, and we used to live in Pasadena. Crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with the fence all high now and shit. Yeah. Sketchy. It's crazy.
You could go all the way down right below, though. It's still like a walkway, like a hike.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's where we did the investigation. But he ended up giving me a call back. Was like, hey, you're the only one that volunteered to go up to the rooftop. I think this, we want to offer this job to you first. If you don't want to take it, we'll offer it to someone else. But would you want to do this haunted hayride suicide bridge with us? Right. And I only need 1 PA. So do you want to do it? And I was like, sure. I had no idea who they were, by the way. Like, I had barely just got to know what they do, and I just barely checked out their channel. But it was a very blinded thing. I was like, I went in for it, and then ended up becoming friends with them, ended up just started working with them. And then, as the time went on, and at the same time I was working the remote job. Then as time went on, I kind of realized, I was like, hey, my creativeness, I lost that throughout the time that I stopped being an actor and was working behind the desk and just, I was cruising life, right? I was just collecting paycheck and kind of go through day by day and not really doing much. This is kind of fun. So I started doing more and more with them behind the scenes. I was helping them doing scheduling and trying to just, help him with calendar organization and like anything he needed. I was his right-hand man along the side with Ginger. Ginger is now soon to be wife, fiance. She has been literally helping him with everything. He would not be here without her for sure. Right. And I'm helping her doing whatever he needs. So it was like a perfect trio. And then I'm like, hold up. This is fun. I started asking him a lot more in depth about what being in social media is like. Because I know he came from the Vine days. I know he now is YouTube and like all these different platforms, right? Like there's a lot to learn. So he started like giving me a little breakdown and stuff. And I let him know, I was like, I kind of want to start a channel. But this is the idea of it. How can I go about it? And then, the rest was history. I wanted to do cooking. I wanted to do smoking of some sort. I love being a stoner. I function high off of everything. Gym, I smoke. I wake up, I smoke. I eat, I smoke. Whatever I do, I smoke, but on a good pace. It sets me in the zone and I feel more focused. Definitely more of I have ADHD for sure. Not diagnosed, but self-diagnosed. Yeah. But from then on, he helped me with how to start, what the process is like, what I need to do. He even let me know, like, don't start YouTube. YouTube is probably the last thing you want to start during that time. 2 years ago was the boom of short forms, right? You have Instagram doing their reels, you have TikTok doing their thing, and then you got YouTube jumping in on YouTube Shorts, right? And it was and Snapchat somehow still in the game. Right? Because they're all short forms. And so he was like, start from short forms. Once you start catching tractions, once you hit 1 million on one platform, then start your YouTube, because that's where you're going to build off your diehard fan base. And then from then on, show more personality and so on and so forth. So that's how, And I was like, okay, I get it. I get why. Let me start from Instagram. Because for Instagram during that time, even now too, smoking a joint, hitting a bong, whatever, is not as severe as you would do on TikTok. You do that on TikTok in 30 minutes, bro, that thing is removed and you're like flat.
It's crazy, right?
Oh my God, this shit I had to deal with TikTok was insane.
Just smoke rising through the frame. Like little things that you would be
it's surprising how detectable it is on TikTok. I've been like confused. We've been real discouraged on doing a TikTok. I mean, we have one, but it's just like, I don't have the app myself. He's not on there. I feel like if social media was like, drugs, TikTok's like heroin, So it's like Instagram's like cocaine or something. TikTok's heroin. Like that's the final stage. Like you're 100%. Fucked once you get there, because you're just like
Twitter's weed. Is that which one?
Something, yeah.
Deep thought.
X.
Yeah. You can hop in and out of that. It doesn't really like capture your.
Yes. Oh yeah. Feel free to bring it towards you. I mean, I've been really enjoying. I love food content. Obviously, we talk about it for years. That's something I battle with in my personal life is food and being able to, hold off and not overeat and shit. But one of my favorite things is good weed and good food. And then now you throw in, an event or something else and concert, music, game over. Your channel for so many stoners is like go to the how you lay everything out. And the way I was reading it, I was like, oh, I could follow along with this. Like very simply without having to sit there and start Googling and researching. Like it's like, oh, step 1, step 2, step 3. Here's very precise ingredients, very precise measurements, very precise like cuts.
Try to stay straightforward, right? And also like for me, it's just accessibility. Right. Like back in the day as a college student, right. It was so hard to find and like so hard to afford too, different ingredients and stuff. So now as I get older, kind of like tailor that to that audience as well. I think, don't get me wrong, quality sure makes differences, right? Same thing with fine dining as well. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but also like good, hard, like homemade munchy meals is just, you can't beat that. You're comfortable. It's comfort food. Yeah. So
it's good you're speaking directly to the demographic that is actually doing that.
Yeah.
You know, in their dorms, in their, you know, house or apartment with tons of roommates. And like, what do we got? What can we throw together? We're all smoking joints. Everyone's hungry.
But fire.
What do we have?
And fire.
Yeah. Or what can we go grab that's easy and then follow along and whip something up real quick.
If you don't mind me asking you, when you say you were having, you know, that's your battle with food.
Yeah.
What was it? Is it the taste? Are you picky?
No, not at all.
Okay.
There's like maybe 2 things I don't mess with, like olives I'm not into, and black licorice.
I feel that.
Mainly just
it.
portion control. He eats fast. This dude can like, I'll be just starting eating. I look over, his shit's cleared. I'm like, holy.
Like, what's next? What
he was doing? Like that though when he was leaner though. You know, so it's like it's just like that.
I've been down to 190 and then back up, but it's portion control and then also just staying in the gym with this guy. But he put me on your channel, and your channel is one of those ones where you can just go like this.
Honestly, you get stuck.
I appreciate it,
which is
that
good.
Means a lot, bro. That means a lot.
No, you
really.
can tell too. And there's like, I mean, you're a great content creator. That's what it comes down to.
Thank you.
What are you using to chop up your stuff? You using CapCut?
It's crazy because everything that I edit on my phone, Splice.
Wow.
I tried CapCut, but I started off with Splice. I just got so used to the system. At one point, I know for a fact I'm going to have to move over to computer, but I'm battling that right now. Everything's so easy and I could do this anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm on the plane, offline mode, just, cutting everything together, putting together. So being on the phone has been perfect for me. But
people like user generated content off the phone too. It's like a thing. Like they can tell between too overly produced and then user generated. And we've looked many times, and it's like you have this fancy ass video you put all this money into and production and all this and that, and then you got an iPhone video and you're like, damn, the iPhone video smacked the other video.
100%.
So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the time and day and age we're in, because 5-10 years ago it wasn't like that at all. It was like you had to have real equipment,
real production. Real
Real
production. It was very YouTube like, and that's why short form changed the game, right? Yeah. Like everybody could do it, and and that's the message I would send out to anyone out there too, right? That wants to create content, just do it. It took me 10 videos to figure it out, and I think that's the perfect, indicator. 10 videos is usually like the trial and error before you figure your niche or format or whatever.
Well, I want to dive into that because this applies to everyone listening who has a brand, creates any type of content, which if you're not creating content,
you're not getting your message out. Your brand's not going to be seen.
And that's with, even if you're just a consumer and you're appreciating things like if you like cooking, doesn't matter what, it parallels everything. As you're starting to do this in the very beginning, what lessons are you learning, and what are the steps you're going through in the beginning?
Dang, the very first start, one thing was trying to figure out my format. That was the hardest part, because for me, cooking, right, you had to figure out the ingredients, the step, and and then the next thing was the angles, right? The angles. What is it like? It was really hard for me to figure out what people wanted to watch and what is it that people that was going to keep people in. So the first 5 videos you will see when the quality was just absolute shit, right? The camera quality was bad. I didn't realize you could change HD to 4K. I didn't know you could do, 30 frame to 60 frame. I didn't even know the differences between the framings. With that being said, that was one thing. And then the camera angles. And then how many times do I actually have to change the angles? And do I keep myself in? And do I want to cut to music, or do I want to, you know what I mean? Now, a lot of videos that you see, you will hear all these different music, different soundtrack that I have. It's because it was by accident too. It was one video that I created. It was, I was trying to do an experiment. I love Costco chicken bake, and I freaking love this. So I was like, what if we make it at home? But what if we make it like a Philly cheesesteak bake? or you know, buffalo chicken bake, you know, stuff like that. And I made a Philly cheesesteak bake during 4th of July as an experiment, and I posted it. It was a failed video that I thought, and ended up blowing up to millions of views. I thought it failed completely, but that actually
What made you think
off
it failed?
because first of all, the presentation turned out trash. Like the food itself, the bake was so big. It was like a massive burrito, this big and this wide. You see chicken bake is like, you can hand it.
Even the normal one looks kind of crazy.
Right. So like this one you had to hold by 2 hands. So I was like, dude, there's no way people are going to make this, first of all. Right. But the taste was good. I had garlic butter, and like the steak was made very seasoned with onion, like caramelized onions. Everything was in there. And then showing the food to the video and doing the cheese pull and stuff, it kind of made it. But what really made a huge difference in that video was also the soundtrack. I didn't realize, because I was fucking around, right? I didn't think this was going to make it a video. So I just had music playing in the back the whole time while I was vibing and just making this dish. And you could hear the different soundtrack went from SZA to Janae to Childish Gambino to, you know, all these different artists. People start picking it up, and you just see the comments. Is that what do I hear Sativa by Janae Aiko? Do you guys hear Black in the background? Like, oh, you know, I fuck with you when you have SZA in the back. You know what I mean? Like, people resonate with all those soundtracks. And from then on, I was like, there it is. And that was probably like the 7th or the 8th of my video.
Wow.
Yeah. And from there was like, okay, I got it. I think this is what I need to do.
First Smoke family, grow generation stores nationwide, discreet delivery to your door, your residence, or your business. If you use the code FIRSTSMOKE10, you get 10% off. It doesn't matter if it's in store or online. They cover all grow needs, no matter if you're looking for vacuum seal bags, all the way to cloning supplies, nutrient lines, lighting, grow bags, cocoa. I mean everything. Grow Generation stores nationwide. Get with GrowGen. Use the code FIRSTSMOKE10.
Yo, what's good, First Smoke family? Ever wonder what makes a perfect smoke even better? It's Raw Rolling Papers. Raw Rolling Papers wants to make the greatest rolling papers in the history of smoke kind. That's Raw's goal, and they continually improve their existing products and create new ones to help uplift the entire smoking world. Whether you're rolling up solo or sharing a session with friends, Raw's commitment to quality and innovation means you get the best experience every time. Because at Raw, we believe we all get higher together. So the next time you're at your local smoke shop, ask for Raw Rolling Papers and elevate your smoke. Stay lifted, everyone. Smoke Raw Rolling Papers.
You know, one is not really, it's about the food. As long as it tastes good to me, that's all that matters, right? That was one thing I had to like grill in my head, is that plating is one thing. Sure, you got to make the food look good, right? But like the food's got to taste good too. So if you could sell out on the food tastes good, the food might look trash. Like that one, honestly, to me still looked pretty bad. But people love the fact that, you know, with the cheese pull, it was like, that looked good. And I'm sure it tasted great. Yeah. So that right there was like it. And then, so I think that was really figuring out the format was the hardest lesson I had to learn, because it took so many different takes. And like, it got frustrating at one point, because when you first started off, I went from like, you know, again, 0 to 1,000 in like a span of a month. You know, I was like, dang, this is going to be a long ride, you know? And by then it was like the 6th video, you know? So I'm like, man, all right, I need to figure this out. Do I need to post more? Do I need to produce more? What do I need to do? At the same time, I'm still working jobs, by the way. I got my remote job, and I'm still working with Elton. So I'm bouncing back and forth trying to make everything, you know.
And are you showing him this? Are you saying, hey, what do you think of this?
Yeah. But I mean, Elton is straight edge. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. So this is low key kind of out of his market as well. So the most he could give me is pretty much more of the back ends of like, what is it that you need to do when it comes to posting? Maybe you need to cut this shorter, whatever. Content wise, he couldn't really give me, if anything, he's still telling me to kind of stray away from smoking weed. Mm-hmm. You might be able to get more audiences. I get it, you know, because he was like, federally is not legal, worldwide is not legal, right? But where I am and what I'm doing is more than that. I'm not going to have what I love and what I'm passionate about on the plant to like stop, you know, just because people don't accept it. I think there's a lot more that people need to learn about this, if anything. So I'm pushing it. You know, I don't think I'll ever not. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree.
For my channel, at least.
Yeah. And I like it because it carves out a niche. You are so passionate about the industry that when you brought that into food, now people can't just copy like Vibe with You. It's your own format. It's your own, the whole thing. And even so now you start to put these videos together where the soundtrack is varied. What's the next things you start to learn as you go along? Because that's a gem right there.
That was such a big stepping stone, because after that, my channel grew, I think, over 100K in the span of a month. But I also got lucky. I think that was also during the right time when Instagram was pushing Reels really hard, and I just caught the algorithm, right? And then though, the biggest lesson going around to the next one, to your question, was how to really dodge the red flags getting flagged by these platforms. Because my Instagram was popping off, my TikTok was about to pop off, then I keep getting flagged. And then my Instagram at one point started getting flagged because I was showing a little too much smoking. You know, I was thinking about trying to do more than just cooking. I was trying to do maybe more lifestyle or skits, things like that. And then it started getting flagged a lot more. At one point, my page was not getting recommended. And during that time, you can't really check on your account status. It won't let you know that you're not getting recommended. You just get shadow banned. So like, I'm just like, what do I do? Like, is this it for me? Is my growth stunt right here? You know, I think that during that time I was at 120K on Instagram, and I was stagnant for 3 months. And at that point I was losing followers. It was going down to 120 to 119. You know what I mean? And then on TikTok was not catching anything either because I got flagged and I was like in the red zone. So I was flat for like 3 months. Luckily, during that time, again, I was still working with Elton. This was our very first, it was his tour that he was doing. He was also doing a podcast, but it was live podcast, live audience in different haunted locations across the US. So we took a road trip. Yeah, we took a road trip with the same RV that we just got back from the bachelor party, across the US, all the way up to Boston and back. And then we hit about, I think, 32 states, 26 different locations, because some of the locations we repeated 2 nights podcasts. But it was like the very first that we have ever done. So it was like haul ass. We had we did everything in-house. We set up the stage in-house, lighting in-house, camera in-house, everything. We had to set it up when we get to the location.
How many people did you have?
We had 6 total.
Wow.
That was the team. Yeah, we had 6 people total. And then 2 of them were the talents, right? It was Elton and during that time, Corey. And then me, Ginger, and 2 other, no, I'm sorry, including cameraman, 8 people. Yeah, but it was only 4 people that were the setup crews. And then the cameramen were in charge of the lightings and the mics and the cameras.
I mean, that's a band going on tour. 30 stops, 8 people. Yeah. That's like a mid-successful band. Yeah.
It was a huge production. So that got me, I was busy for a cool minute. So that, thank goodness, didn't hinder me much during that time when I was dry, because I was like, if I would have been home, I would have gone crazy. You know what I mean? You start thinking about numbers. And that was another lesson too, as a creator. You will forever, it's programmed in us that we will look at numbers, because numbers indicate data, right? So we will continuously look at where our fan base is, when we grow, how much we've grown, and what video pops, numbers. And so like that was the 2 biggest lessons during that time is, you know, how to adapt to these waves of your ups and downs. Because in 2 years that I've had this channel, there was a lot of ups And there was a shit ton of downs too. And what do you do with the downs is what really helps you with the ups. That was like the biggest lesson as well. So sorry, my ADHD is like taking me off.
No, that's good. That's a great lesson.
Info. Yeah.
That applies to everything in life.
Yeah. 100%.
And so
100%.
you start to get this, and so you're coming out of this shadow ban, because that's exactly what it is, where they don't recommend. And no matter what, if everyone knows, like you start to drop because followers, maybe they just followed on a whim, but now they're seeing 2-3 videos, or who even knows, bots, whatever. So as you're coming out of this shadow ban, like what are the next steps? Because this applies to every single content creator. We all deal with this. If you have anything to do with the cannabis industry or even tobacco, you deal with this.
You just got to play the game. I think that's the biggest thing. Like there are so many things in this world as out of your control to control, right? Like this getting shadow banned, getting these things flagged. Like, dude, they have AI do the scanning. It's not even people. You're fucking battling AI for this. It's like, who you even argue at this point? You know, you can't. So you got to play the game by the rule book. So with that being said, ever since they came out with account status, it will tell you what you need to remove. It will let you know what you need to take care of before your account gets to the good health again, right? Just do it. When that first came out, when I finally found out I was shadow banned, and that account status thing showed up, I clicked into it. It first showed me 3 content that I need to remove before, I get back to the good status. I removed the 3 videos. 3 hours later, I check in. 3 more new videos came up that needed to be removed. And 3 more and 3 more. I think I went 4 rounds of that. I had to remove over 12 videos before my account was recommendable again. So that means during all that time I was shadow banned, these were already flagged. I just didn't know, But again, who would have known if you didn't, you know what I mean? Like you can't, because the account status wasn't even there, And I mean, again, though, I'm sure all the platforms are constantly improving as well, as we go, right? We wouldn't be here without these platforms. So as much as freaking angry as I was to these platforms, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be where I am without these. So you got to work with it, right? Customer support, great. Again, though, they're at this point, they're outsourced, right? We all know they're either from like Philippines or India or wherever they are, the call center is. You're chatting with them. You're not chatting with whoever is here, whoever knows what to do. So you get the basic like troubleshoot.
And for them, cannabis is still highly illegal.
Exactly.
So you're talking to someone, you're based in LA or California, in literally a legal state. You're talking to someone in a country that's like, oh no, people still go to jail for that.
Right.
And you're like, no, but can I get my account back? And they're like, why would I do that?
Exactly. And you're just, and so like, there's nothing you could do there. Right. So play with it. What I've learned is after I removed those videos, I looked at the trends and look at what is it that the videos that are still on the page, why is it not getting flagged? And most of them were all the cooking ones. Why? But the cooking ones, I'm showing a lot, I think. At first, it was me splitting the blunt with a knife, sparking a lighter, then like me jam out to music for like 2 seconds, right? Then I start pushing the boundary because I'm like, what is it about these videos that aren't getting flagged? I started doing more smoking in between. Like maybe if I light up the pot, I'll spark it up and I smoke while I'm waiting for the water to boil, right? Or if I'm baking, I'm going to take a smoking break, kind of just add things in between. Also for the brands, it helps, right? Like that was like my bread and butter that sells the brand too, because I could hit, in between and stuff. Then I start pushing more boundaries and see, what if I just do smoking and eating, right? What if I smoke the bunch and then I just do like a mukbang or something? Does that get flagged? It did get flagged. Then I realized it was because this was considered as educational. Recipe was considered as educational. I used that as primary. Smoking was secondary. It was no longer about smoking. Smoking was just the background noises for these content, right? I'm a stoner, but at the end of the day, I'm here to teach you how to make this bomb ass food and do it faded, So I think that's where that that key was at.
Yeah, it's like almost like you were just studying the data with the account center. I mean, that's just opened up a whole new vision for me, and that's what we need to do because the shadow ban shit's crucial.
Annoying.
Like you really can't grow if you're shadow banned. It's a slow like drag, you know? So, dude, that's crazy because like I noticed that in your content, and I can see too with the performance of the content. I'm like, yeah, that's a big part of why it's working because you're not getting flagged, you know, and the way you do smoking, get in there and there'll be clouds and stuff or whatever of you blowing it out and stuff like that. It's just like, it's interesting because it's very creative the way they know, but they don't, the algorithm doesn't know, but the viewer, it's obvious, you know?
Right.
So it doesn't take away, it still adds to the video.
Yeah.
And it still, you know, puts you in your niche. So
I
haven't seen too many creators like figure it out like that. And this is the first time I've heard of even someone going in there and kind of troubleshooting it on their own.
I mean, before me though, there was 2 creators that I know of that actually did what I did. They were actually my inspirations. So one is Daniel Williams. He is in Arizona. He has 2.1, I think, or 2.2 millions on Instagram.
Wow.
He was the very first that I know was smoking and cooking on the social media platform. And then the second guy was from Europe. I think he's from Spain. His name is Matthew.
First smoke of the day, family. Having a successful harvest shouldn't be this complicated. Drip Hydro understands how investing in different nutrients can be expensive and confusing. With over 30 years in the cultivation industry, they set out to develop a clean, simple, concentrated, affordable, and effective nutrient line. The mission to give growers back their money, time, and peace of mind while keeping your irrigation running smoothly. The fluid line provides your plants with the proper nutrition they require and desire throughout their entire lifetimes. If you want to give Drip Hydro a try in your garden, use our promo code and get 10% off. The code is FIRSTSMOKE10. That gets you hooked up with any Drip Hydro product, 10% off. So head to your local grow store or visit driphydro.com and let Drip help you achieve the bountiful harvest that you need. Hey, First Smoke family, black leaf drops are selling out in California and Washington. No matter what state you're in, it's super simple. Just go to blackleaf.la, hit the store locator, and you can find the nearest shop to you that got the new drops. Whether it's the Zerbo, the Prism, you know we've been on the Black Cherry, or some of our new rosin flavors. Hit the store locator, find the drop.
Matt Worldwide is his handle. But he, during that time, had only 100K growing fast. He, I think within 2 months, bounced from 100 to 500 real quick. But his was very flashy. Like his style was like, he was a hype beast. You know, had a great setup, great concept. He would like walk up to the counter and then you just see like his kicks, right? He was you could tell he was a sneakerhead. He had his kicks and then he just somehow rise up the leg and then drops the shoes like he's gone. He's faded. That was his key to like, you know, tell people he's a stoner. And then, but he would also like go in front of the camera and do this real quick, light up a joint, smoke, and then cook. So that was like where I got my inspiration from, was like, yo, this is possible. I could do this on social media. Whoa. You know? And then, but they never got like banned. You know what I mean? So like if they could stay around, why can't I? What is it that they're doing that I'm not doing is always my question, you know? Yeah.
What was it?
The cooking. It was just stick with cooking. Literally
cooking primary, smoking secondary.
Exactly.
And being creative. And that's for anyone making cannabis content. If you can put something legitimate primary and then sprinkle in the smoking secondary, I think it'll, like you're saying, it's got a way better shot of actually being recommended and, you know, maybe taking off.
100%. And I think, and right now for me too, the next step, right, is trying to understand now how to even reach in a broader audience. And sometimes maybe it doesn't require smoking. You know what I mean? There's this guy that I found, I really want to link up with him one day. He's this black dude, red eye shot, bro. You know, he's not from Cali. He's definitely from like Baltimore or something. I don't know. But red eye shot, he has food in his hand. And the food is sometimes either basic or super bomb. He goes, "What up, gang? This right here, this right here, I made." He just super faded out of his mind. You have sometimes have no idea what he's saying, but you're like, dude, this food looks kind of bomb, and he just eats it, and he goes, "Oh my god!" You know, he just reacts to it.
Yeah,
gone, bro. You just know he's literally faded out of his mind. It works. He doesn't show smoking. He doesn't take a hit out of the bong.
but you already know what's up.
But you already know what's up, right?
Smart.
You got people commenting like, "Yo, I want what he's smoking. What is he smoking?" Right?
Straight up.
So like I was like, "Yo," and I just recently discovered him about a month ago. So I'm like, I kind of want to try that new format too, you know, and then like add my own niche to it and see if this will work out. Right? We as a community, stoner community, we know, you know, we just know. We don't have to show it off all the time, you know? But like you could tell by looking at your eyes, you could tell by like the smell, you know, we just know. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, it's getting so crazy that they detect like the little Cali warning sign now.
Bro. Even
like I've lost so many accounts. It's fucking, it's
Really?
crazy. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, honestly. It's like,
how you guys
everybody
hanging right now?
we're doing good with
keys?
this one, but this one's podcast primary and secondary smoking
There
for the
you
most
go.
part. Like we try not to show a ton of product. I'd rather just show the packaging.
Yeah.
But it's tough because we do grow tours and we're so involved in
But
the industry.
same thing. I think we kind of get around a
Yes.
little bit because it's growing it and plants is a little different. They can't really tell. It could just be regular agriculture at that
Yeah.
point, right? Like they
Yeah.
don't know, but they're getting good because like when they started getting this and stuff, I was like, oh, they're getting good now because that's crazy, you know, like a picture
AI,
of a bag
dude.
and then they're like, boop,
Crazy.
AI and got you, you know. So when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, I don't even like reposting now.
Yeah.
If someone posts my bag and tags me, I have a hard time reposting because I'm like, I really don't want to lose this account.
What about content wise? Like, because of course, you know, what you guys do, everything we talk about here is cannabis related, right?
Yeah.
How is that for the AI? Do you guys get flagged for those?
age restriction,
Age gated on YouTube.
but not with every video.
And then it definitely doesn't get recommended for the most part. Like you have to type in first smoke of the day all the way to the Y for it to pop up. Yeah, it's fucked.
Dope as
Pretty
Yola
fucked.
came and sat down, and he had dealt with a lot of the same stuff a long time ago,
Yeah.
and he was like,
He lost to YouTube with 1 million followers.
Yes. So the crazy thing is,
Subs,
Dope
yeah.
as Yola and Elton is gonna do a show in August. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
What type
they got
of-
connected for his podcast. So the podcast that we
gotcha.
did the live show for, it's expanded out to now doing a comedy club and stuff. They want to stray away from not so much paranormal, but to comedy. Because at the end of the day, Elton started off as a comedian too. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But anyways,
Dope.
I respect Dope as Yola. Would
Yeah.
love to meet him one day. He's cool. He's a cool
yeah.
guy.
Great
Yeah, I love
content.
his
good
content.
lessons from when we can all talk about this openly of how we've been navigating, because people don't even understand. They'll say, oh, this video only got 20,000. This video got 140,000. You're like, yeah. And it's the same format. Maybe even the guest on the episode that didn't do as well, it was an even more interesting story.
Yeah.
But it's age
People take
restricted.
it personal
and-
too. You know?
You can.
It's just like,
Yeah.
you just don't
The
know.
numbers, see the numbers. You just don't know.
Yeah.
It's out of your control. You know?
But I also I think we strive to be like, okay, you want to put a buckle on us or a glass ceiling that we can't get through. Okay, well, that makes it harder for other people to want to compete as well and do content, because it's if you were just food, you'd probably be 10 times more successful. So how do you balance that?
yeah, 100%.
Maybe not more
100%.
successful, but like you'd probably grow faster.
Yeah,
And it's like, damn,
Which, if you're getting
choose
paid
up, you know?
off
Which
views, is that more
Yeah.
success then?
Yeah.
That's the tough
and
ask.
that was like one thing. That was the tough pill to swallow for sure. Was that pride, right? Of like, I just want to do what I want to do on this, you know. But all those content I had to remove was like unfortunate. You know, they were bangers because a lot of them did do well, and then but that was also, then I started to seeing a lot of creators is also having this same mentality. A lot of them don't want to remove these contents because pride, right? These are great contents. They want to keep it on the page because that's just show who they are and what they do and what they've accomplished. Sure. But if you want to grow, You just got to swallow that pill and remove
It's like you said,
it.
you got to play the game.
You just got to play the game. And then, you know, in the future, I'm sure you could create more bangers and, you know, keep it pushing.
Do you think with federal legalization that the AI would have to update and we would now be allowed to, because if let's say it's federally legal in the United States, would YouTube, which is a United States based company, and same with Instagram, correct?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they then have to accept that? And it'd be like, hey, what's up with this shadow
I
ban?
don't know. That's a huge maybe.
Right?
At the end of the day, like, they run the government. Google, Meta, Apple, all these companies run the government. Like, it's not the other way around. You know, I don't care what anyone says. It's like, we won't get too far into that, but it's whatever they decide, not whatever the government decides.
And then also, like, they're worldwide.
Yeah.
You know, so like, think about US. Yes, US is a huge market. Don't get me wrong. But like, because there's so many more countries out there that are still illegal, it's really hard for them to, you know. But at the end of the day, I think we're at a great stage right now. And I don't think it will go backwards. I think where we are is fine. And I think I don't think they'll bring it back down to where we're going to get banned or even have, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Unless in the US somehow we flip the switch and it went completely illegal, then maybe, right? But
that can't happen.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, even talk about a lot of people asking me, it was crazy. Some people hit me up. They're like, wait, weed's legal in Thailand? I'm thinking in my head, like, dude, where have you been?
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
You know, like, dude, there's more weed shops out here than most places I know. There's probably more weed shops in Bangkok than in New York City, for sure.
It's insane how many weed shops there are out there right now.
It
Over
is
10,000.
Yeah, that's more than Amsterdam.
Like,
dude,
what?
there's no comparison.
But when you think of the
there's no comparison.
And you say the good
Amsterdam's just the red light district. Bangkok is a massive city.
Wow.
And it's everywhere. It's all over Thailand. It's not even just in Bangkok.
Oh, okay. So,
everywhere. I'm in Chiang Mai.
We got to get out there.
Seeing stuff. And it's insane. Koh Samui on the island, I'm passing by and it's like, I see like Doja, the Tenko, Wizard shit, all on decals on the windows and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
International, you know, all the big players are in there. But did they tell you about why everyone's opening shops out there though? No. So right now, and I was actually surprised that they didn't reverse the law yet. And one thing about Thailand is they switch up real quick. They could switch up in a day. They could switch up in a second.
It's because it's a different style government.
It's a different style of government. Yep. And there's a lot of, we could dive in more about it, but when they first legalized it, right now, every single dispensary that opens in Thailand is tax-free. The government gets nothing out of it at all. Tax-free. So that's why everyone opened it up, because it's full income, right? All the income that they come with it's all profit minus expenses from the storefront. That's it. Overhead, you know, and the inventory.
Which is very cheap in Thailand.
America, take a lesson.
Cheap in Thailand, fam. But like, that's why they opened it up so much. And then now the government was going to reverse it, because they aren't getting, dude, I don't think they realize how much money was going to be in this.
No, it wouldn't take long until you realize, like, oh, we fucked up. This is fucking insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, there's shops everywhere.
Dollars, fam. Billions from international and domestic. Like, if they were going to flip the switch, the amount of money the country would have lost, even just domestically, was insane. You know, they couldn't have swallowed that pill on their own. No way. No way.
And it was interesting because I'm seeing people be like, well, we're not going to close down. And I'm thinking like, dude, I don't know if you want to really go against like Thailand law, because if you get fucked, you're like super fucked.
Yep.
Like there's no,
and I mean,
roughest prisons you could probably get caught up in.
You don't want to go in Thai prison. You do not want to go to Thai prison.
Hell no. Hell no.
It'll be the hottest place too. You don't want to, there's just a shithole.
I don't think they'd have much regard for the people in those spots. Locked Up Abroad is like, Thailand's been some of the worst, like definitely the worst prison episodes, where you can see into it a little bit and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm like, how is this going to play out? A bunch of foreigners being like, well, we're not going to close. I'm like, oh shit, that wouldn't be the spot I wanted to be in, you know?
Yeah, no.
But apparently they're going to figure it out. So
It's not going back to illegal. So it's legal now.
So it's legal.
It's legal.
Yes.
It's still legal and it will be legal until further notice, I guess.
But the consumption is the tricky part, just like in America. Is that correct?
No, they're pretty more wide open than even over here. Yeah.
As long as you're respectful, right? Again,
you can't be on the streets just like, that's what's cool about going to the shops is like you can just consume there, or if you're in a cut or something.
There's
it's not a
definitely
big
some
deal.
shops that are more by the book. They don't want to get in trouble because technically you're not supposed to, right? But they're very lenient about it as long as, again, respect. Right, you're not on the street like smoking in front of like vendors and stuff, blowing in their faces and whatnot. Like there's always smoking areas in public as well for you to just go and smoke, or just go to alleyways. There's so many alleyways to just smoke, so.
Can you imagine the alcohol industry without bars? And I know it's tough to, but that's literally what we're dealing with. Think about what this industry would be if we had consumption sites that were built on that premise that you can buy it at the liquor store and go home. Cool. No worries. But you can also go here and socialize with it and create a norm. If we had that literally is, I wonder the amount that accounts for alcohol consumption. It's got to be way more than people just going and buying it directly, I would think. But it's interesting.
Out of all the places I've been, even Amsterdam, I would say Thailand's doing that the best, even though it's not like legal.
Wow.
Like, because most shops are cool with it. Like, yeah, you smoke over there, lounges, and there's like people in there. You start chopping it up. You're like, where are you from? They're like, it's that type of vibe. It's not like in America, it's this vibe of like Thailand. It's not.
That's
it's
facts.
like it's very welcoming.
That's
to where you're like you'll talk to a stranger and no problem. In America, it's real weird right now. That hasn't taken effect in Thailand. Thank God.
You know what it is though? I think at the end of the day, it comes down to culture.
It is.
Right. And I think also because Thailand, right, the culture is tourism. Everyone there, most people there that you'll see in shops, all tourists.
Yep.
So it's easy to like be friendly to tourists because you're from somewhere else. You're
too.
open-minded. If the fact that you're there, you're open-minded. You have to be, right? Like it's a different vibe out there. It's still at the end of the day, like outside of the major cities, it's still a third world country.
Yep.
It's still trying to grow and there's still things to be figured out. And the pollution is still ass out there and whatnot. But people are so freaking nice. You just can't. Yeah.
So I land in Thailand. I need to ask both of you. I land in Thailand. Where am I going first to get good weed? And then what dish am I going to get, or what food am I going to get first thing because that's what I want to know. When I land in Thailand, let's go get some smoke. And then, let's get something dope to eat. Yeah. Like, what am I doing?
You gotta ask you that. I only been there once.
I have a few. I have a few dispensaries I would visit. Shanty, number one, right? On that same street, there's a few. Shanty, and then down the street, there's Golden Hour. Shanty is cool. They have a little lounge in the back for you to smoke. They have dab bars and stuff too. And the owner's really chill. William is sick. I love that guy. And then going down to Golden Hour, they have the best edibles. The best. They have, so the guy used to work at a Michelin star restaurant in Taipei, in Taiwan. All the owners out there in that store is Taiwanese. But he created these like, I don't even know what you call them. They're like donuts, but not really. Anyways, imagine those like long donuts, right? With like the glaze. Yeah, eclairs. Yeah. My God, the best thing ever. And it's infused. Each one's 30 milligrams. But I will put you to good mood. And then, and they also have a very cafe, very like laid back, loungy, kind of vibe. And then there's High Society. There's a few high society dispensaries around Bangkok, but all of them are pretty good. They have pretty good flowers, and all of them have good lounges. So like you could go upstairs or go to the back. The one by Chinatown, Hualongpong, that one has like a pool table. That one's more like a bit of a higher class, like kind of vibe. Anthony is the owner. The guy is very chill too. But yeah, to get everything you need, I think dispensaries in Thailand doesn't lack in quality of flowers. Every single one of them will get you premiums and, you know, the best that they got, right? But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to specialty, right? Either they have the best edibles or they have like, you know, very, very chill lounge vibe places for you to smoke and chill. You know, some may serve food, some may have drinks and milkshakes. Oh yeah, high society have milkshakes. And so does the drugstore. There's so many.
Yeah, shout out to the drugstore.
The drugstore.
They really do it right.
They do it right.
Yeah, they really do it right.
They got the lounge. They have like great vibe with the neon signs that they got.
Yeah.
And then the lounge upstairs, they also have food and milkshakes.
Yeah.
Bro.
And like craft sodas that they make and shit.
Yes.
Damn.
Really fire.
That sounds cool.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
And it's cool. Like he was showing me, I got to link with them and he was showing me they have like ladies night. They all come and do their nails there and smoke together.
I love
They're doing
food.
real like hospitality nights. And like,
Community
that's what people
based,
need to
man.
do. Yeah.
community based.
And you know what, man? There's a few outliers out here. I mean, I'll probably count on one hand, but out of the whole US, name one lounge you can go do your thing at.
Right now,
Yeah.
the Woods.
And even that, it's like,
Astor Club.
Yeah.
you know, definitely shout out to Astor Club
Yeah.
because they're the outlier I was speaking of.
Yeah,
But
exactly. But that's
other
about
than
it.
that, I mean, even the Woods, it's like
I don't think I've
maybe
been there.
there's no real community.
It's the
at
biggest
the Woods,
underground lounge.
Okay.
Like the Woods, they have stuff here and there, but
Yeah.
like if we just went like right now or something, you're probably just going to be there by yourself,
Or
smoke
whoever
a
you
joint,
came with,
and then
yeah.
leave. You know, and it's like it's different when
Yep.
you got someone there and like. You know, even the bud tenders are coming up and like hanging around you. Hey, can I get you anything? You know, try this, try that. We start talking. Like, it's just a different feel, a different
Very
vibe.
friendly,
It's like you
dude.
said, it's the culture.
Very friendly.
So
I
now,
agree with
Way
you.
better feel than Amsterdam and the
Yeah.
red light district.
Really?
Shout out to all of them, but way better feel.
Also, never been to Amsterdam. As much travel I've done so far.
You should go because
I
they keep
would
trying to
love
kill it
Yeah,
off. They keep
please.
trying to push them out of there. It's insane.
I heard. And now you can't, like in the red light district, you can't smoke there
Nope.
no more.
Not in the streets.
well, the
Okay.
next step is they're going to relocate the full entire red light district. They have these towers they're building that will be open 24 hours, highly
What a
lit.
piece of history
It's
gone.
some crazy, but they want to bring them outside the city center and they'll be easily accessible with parking lots, with security. I saw this whole thing on YouTube about, because I follow up with what's happening in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I have such a love for the industry, and they were damn near one of the birthplaces of modern cannabis.
Absolutely.
And to see them have the reins and then to kind of slowly lose it, it's like, no, bring it back. Like we want those Dutch strains back in production. We need them part of this culture, producing like they used to be.
You just made me think of something super crucial. When they start making it like a jail and shit with all these security guards and stuff, the vibes are gone. I mean, the vibes are gone.
No matter what,
You're
yeah.
in and out. I didn't see one security guard in Thailand. Not one. Not one at the door. Think about that.
You didn't have to get buzzed in.
No. And it's the same thing with Amsterdam. I just registered that in my brain. That's why it felt hospitable.
You're right.
Like I was getting welcomed. Most of the time it was like a cute little chick or something in there working it, and they're just like, hey, how you doing? And you're just like, you're just chilling. And then you're, like you said, some people come in, they're probably foreigners, and then you just start chopping it up. There's no security presence. There's no threats. There's no stealing. Dude, you'd be the only person doing it if you went over there and did it. It's like, I wouldn't want to find out. I mean, I'm sure I could be wrong, but
no, you're absolutely right.
it's like,
You're an asshole
what other
if you do that.
places
honestly.
is like that? Amsterdam was like that too. I didn't see really any security guards or any of that. Over here, though, it's different. And then even Barcelona, you're leaving the social clubs and stuff. And shout out to all these places. I love all the hard work people put in to make it as best they can. We know this isn't like the people doing this because they want to, they have to.
Yes.
But you leave Barcelona and they're like, oh, be careful, get in your cab, hurry up, hide your bags, because the cops will extort you out there. They'll pull you over. Yeah, they'll pull you over and threaten to take you to jail, take all your shit, take your money, or they might take your ass to jail if they decide. And it's like, you're leaving and you're like, wait, what? And it just fucks the whole vibe up to where you're like, you're
Because
going.
you gotta wash your back at that point.
Dude, it just
constantly.
it's like it's right back to Prohibition days where you're like, dude, I thought this was why are they even like, what is it cool or is it not? And then you're in a foreign territory. So you're like, bro, I'm not trying to go to jail out here. What the fuck? Like,
well, think about too, because like when we go to the dispensary, we'll probably be like, let me get an eighth of this, and that.
Yeah.
So now you have 4 or 5 bags. Let's say maybe that day you went to 2 spots, you have 6 bags, little hash, rolling paper. Yeah. That can easily be conveyed that you're selling those because you have 6, 7, 8 products on you, even though it's this and maybe 2, and you smoked a little of this, some of this. It does look like a lot to someone who doesn't know. Like, why would you have all this?
Yeah.
But for us, we're just collecting it, dude. Right? This is for us.
It's still personal consumption at that point, you know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It is.
Whoa, you're right.
I love that it's like this, though. It shows me that more foreigners need to go there and enjoy the cannabis culture, meshing with the Thai culture.
So for the best, in my opinion, for the best beef noodle soup, like boat noodles, right? You got to go to, it's called Watana Panache, and it's located in Ekamai. And it's just, so in Thailand, Bangkok, there's like a few areas that you really need to be in, I guess. And one of them is Sukhumvit. Sukhumvit Road is this long, imagine like, what's a long road out here? Like imagine PCH, right? It's just this long road that goes through cities, right? So there's different section district in Bangkok. That whole road probably goes through like, I don't know, at least 10 districts. So with that being said, one of them is called Ekamai. That area, imagine like Irvine. That's like the Irvine of Bangkok, in my opinion. Anyways, there's a beef noodle shop right there. That shop has been there for, I think, like 45, 50 years. That soup has been there boiling, stewing for 45 years. Yeah. So crazy. Like, what you drink is so rich, but yet like smooth. So good. Oh my God.
And when you say that, you mean they're carrying the stock over.
Yeah. So the stock constantly is being just like, yeah, exactly.
So it is 40-year-old because they're using the stock from the day before to be the base of tomorrow and vice versa consistently.
And you just see this big pot in front of the store being stewed for like, you know? Yeah.
Wow, beef noodles. So that sounds good right now.
That sounds really good right now.
That for sure. And then
what are my other options?
Hot pot. Right now is a huge trend.
And I can trust them in Thailand.
You could trust them in Thailand.
Okay, because I've seen the crazy Chinese videos where they're pulling it out of the sewer to make the hot pot for tomorrow's thing. I was like,
Thailand's totally the opposite of that.
Okay.
Just to kill all the myths on that.
That's why I have to ask.
Especially the restaurant ones. You know? Like
that's where I was sticking to because I wanted to make sure I didn't get no food poisoning. But I still went with some local friends that put me on shit, and I let them lead that. Like, street food, you guys lead the way. I don't want to just go to some random situation and risk it, you know? Facts. But I did stick to like the restaurant hot pots and all that. Like that's like a way of life out there. Like people prefer that.
Now it's like, again, they're a tourism country, right? So like most of their money comes from tourism. So a lot of them have adapted to that culture. They want to make sure that the tourist is good and again, more business, right? A lot of them do cater to the locals, but tourists is definitely one of the main markets.
And what am I ordering in a hot pot? Like what's your go-to?
Oh, so the hot pot, there's different styles. Do you like spicy?
I do, yeah, but he does not.
Got you. So there's always half and half pot. Okay. That's the beauty of hot pot. With the Chinese hot pot, it's always shared. So you get 2 different styles. Sometimes you go to restaurants, you have your individual. And then sometimes when you go to restaurants, you will have one pot in the middle of the table. Both are really good. Again, customizable. That's one thing about hot pot is everything's customizable. You can literally throw anything you want in the hot pot as long as it cooks. And if you want it to be cooked or whatever, eat it. But for you two, don't like spicy, I will order half mala, usually pork broth, right? So mala soup base, that is like the numbing type of spicy, but good way, in a good way. I'm addicted to it. I think people that like spicy is always.
I don't think this dude would be able to handle it, to be honest. It's a different level of spicy out there. People don't realize, you know?
So you know what? If you can't do that, it's all good. Then do tomato base and a pork base.
Okay.
So there's tomato soup base. You could do that as one half. The other half you could do pork base. And then for the spicy, you can always adjust on the side because it could be dipping sauces. There's always a station where you could go and like make your own sauces. That's also another beauty of hot pot. Is like, again, everything's customizable and like it's kind of fun. You could like carry like 3 trays of like or 4 trays of sauces of different mix, you know. And every time, to be honest, I still haven't really found like my favorite mix, but I always go with the peanut sauce. But yeah, I love minced garlic, peanut sauce, a little bit of soy sauce and vinegar. Mix that up, and then add a little bit of sugar just for the sweetness to it. Yep. That's like my favorite sauce. But I can never get it to the right amount every time yet. So still working on that.
So I'm hitting the dispensary. I got my beef noodle soup. The next day I wake up, I want to try hot pot after the dispensary tour. Yeah. Give me one more option.
All right. So there is another spot on Sukhumvit Road. Best authentic Thai food for the street market price. So you're not paying, again, because it's still kind of like, it's located right by Nana area, not plaza, but Nana area, the station, probably like a street down. There's this corner Thai food restaurant. It's been there for years. And I'm talking about like the 90s, probably even the 80s. It has the year on the bottom. I, again, forgot. But just this corner shop, there's the outdoor. You go upstairs, this like an indoor with AC. So you get best of both worlds. And then they also serve boat noodles there as well. Pretty good. They have a booth in the front that sells like dessert mango sticky rice. Then the other side is where they make their noodles and all that stuff, right? And then inside is where they do all the stir fries. But they literally hit every single category of Thai food you could get, from seafood to noodles to rice dish, anything you want for like street market price. I got a papaya salad plus a pad see ew. It's like these flat stir fry noodles, mango sticky rice, and a smoothie for $7 total. $7 USD, bro.
You can't even get a smoothie for that here.
Bro, no. What?
I just paid $9.
Yeah,
literally.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Yeah.
That made me like, I gained weight.
I mean, so eating is a big part of the culture there.
Yeah.
Food is massive.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know, and I don't know if you have a spot for this too, but the pizzas is insane in Bangkok.
Oh, yes.
They're known for it.
Oh my God. Did you go to the one by Shanty?
I think he brought it up, but I don't think we did. We went to a Thai spot instead.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I went to a Thai spot and like everyone knew Will there, and like it was fire. Because people were trying to put me on a bunch of authentic Thai, but I realized that by talking to some people, like they're well known for pizza, and I was like, pizza, and I just
Random.
never would have thought that, but really fire pizza, and people from all over the world are over there, Italy, New York, and they start restaurants, and
it's
they're doing their thing. It's literally the culinary scene over there is huge.
Yeah.
So, and that's hospitality. So why wouldn't the cannabis industry be parallel to that? High-end hospitality. What are you looking for?
Yep.
I think when they figured that out, it was game over, because like, that's why now they're booming. I think Thailand is the only country in Asia.
It is.
That
it's the hub.
It's the hub. It's the new Amsterdam.
And now even Europe.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many UK guys I met over there that are starting grows and shit.
Out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'm guessing
their whole family.
Australia now that's probably the closest move
everybody.
too, because it's expensive and highly illegal in a lot of places in Australia. So I'm sure they're going right to Thailand. That makes sense.
Not a far flight.
Yeah.
No, it's cheap, man. It's cheap,
Oh, and not only is it cheap, though, it's like, I don't think people realize the quality of life.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, it's just like, I mean, man, I haven't been that happy in a long time. Just like on default mode. Like, I wasn't even like, it's not like I was like, oh, put a smile on your face. It just was automatic where I was like, what's happening to me right now? This is like really different, a different feeling. You're walking around, everyone's smiling at you.
Yeah.
I came back and I noticed I I'm still smiling at everyone. And I noticed people started smiling back at me. And I was like, it's because I was in Thailand.
I like bows.
Yeah, exactly.
Still,
that too. I had to catch, I still catch myself doing that. Because after a couple of weeks, you're going to start bowing back because you're like, man, this is crazy. The respect and how happy people are is, you know, and then the people when they're like the work culture there as well, like everyone's happy to have the job they have. No one's like, hey, what's up? How can I help? No, there's none of that. It's the total opposite.
Yeah.
People are really happy to be there and you can't fake that.
No.
You can't. No. So it's like, you know that like even the ladies in 7-Eleven working, which 7-Eleven, that's another vibe too. People, you've never been to 7-Eleven until you went to Thailand 7-Eleven.
Really?
It's the dopest. It made me a fan of 7-Eleven again because I was like, damn, I'm going to try. That's how I think I put on some weight. Late night 7-Eleven runs.
Have you been to Japan?
No, I got to go.
Japan and Thailand have the best 7-Elevens in Taiwan. Those are the three countries. I've never thought in my life 7-Eleven here would be so bad.
Yep.
Because I came from Taiwan, right?
Yep.
It's so like Thailand, it's so accessible. Anything you want, any food you want, they have microwaves, they got water heater, they even got like coffee shop in there for you. Like anything you need.
It's better quality though too.
It's
you got to
so
note
cheap,
that.
So much cheaper.
And it's just better quality.
Yes.
Things you're trying, you're like, damn, this is good. You know, and you don't feel like shit after, which is interesting too.
I've seen the little clips on Instagram and social media where people are showing, you know, what they get from the convenience store. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
I'm just trying stuff every day.
And how do you balance? Because you go back and forth, correct?
Yeah.
How do you balance? Because there's a vast difference between the two places. Like, are you always trying to flee and kind of enjoy yourself there, or do you find balance between both?
Well, right now it's a little hard to say because I won't be back until October. Okay. Right. And the last time I was there was May. You know, it's been a cool minute, fam. I miss it so much. But this opportunity that Elton has put me on, I couldn't say no. Yeah. Right now, Elton is working on a series where we are traveling every country in the world in alphabetical order. Yeah. So
can you talk about that? Some of that, because I think that's what I've been seeing on your stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck? This dude rented a pirate ship and invited strangers, and they're partying their asses off from young to old.
Dude,
it was I was like, this is. I sent it to you. I was like, this is the craziest shit I've seen. Was that in Tampa Bay?
That was So that was in Aruba when we did that. When we did the party bus and the pirate ship. That was in Aruba.
So alphabetical order. You guys are starting it off.
So far,
and then you went to Argentina.
Yeah. We literally just came back from Argentina.
I was wondering. I was like, dude, this dude's all over the fucking place. You just came back from Bangkok. Yeah. Then you were going and doing all that, and I was like, man, you're moving around.
And that was the first leg. So when I came back from Bangkok that time, man, that was a bit ago too, huh?
June?
Yeah.
Beginning of June?
Yeah. So that was when I was, shit. Okay, rewind. Okay, I got my time mixed up. So yes, June was when I actually ended my lease in Bangkok because of this.
Got it.
I think right now what made more sense for me is if I ever go back, I would just Airbnb.
Yep.
Because I'm only
more flexibility.
Exactly, more flexibility.
Even when you're there, you want to bounce around.
Yeah, for sure.
Too much time in Bangkok will.
Don't get me wrong, the space was nice, right? To have your own place to just go home to and whatnot. But like for the amount of time I'm there anyways, I'm only there the most time 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's insane so far. Like when I first moved to Thailand, my goal was to like seeing the opportunity there with cannabis, and two, also like to do content. Right. I was going to focus a lot on myself. Then like I moved there February, settled down March. Elton comes in like, hey, I'm working on this new series. Really want to travel every single country in the world in alphabetical order. And I'm like, what? How many country is that? Right. And then I'm like, and I looked it up and we're chatting about it, you know, cause it's just an idea, right? At that time in March. And then he was like, yeah, so the UN right now recognizes, 193 countries. And I was like, 193? But he was like, let me work this list real quick. And he like would ask me here and there, was like, hey, is Taiwan a country? technically Taiwan isn't a country, right? As much as we want to recognize Taiwan to be a country, unfortunately, we are still part of China. That's why, like in the Olympics, we're Republic of China.
And they want you back.
Damn,
They want us back.
And they're working at it very diligently. Bro, that's a whole other combo. I know.
No, I mean, I'm not too involved in the politics out there. And I asked my family out there, like, how do you guys feel about it, right? Because there is a period of time where we got the little scares, right? Oh, they're surrounding their boats around Taiwan, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, how do you guys feel about it? They're like, dude, they do this every day. Who cares? Like, as long as people aren't dying, as long as there's no war, they don't care if they're Chinese or Taiwanese or whatever. They're going to forever call themselves Taiwanese because that's the country, Taiwan, right? Like just like Okinawa with Japan, like they're going to call them Okinawans. You know,
it's kind of like Hawaii with US. They call themselves,
exactly.
Hawaiians.
It's a name. It's who they are, right?
They call US the mainland.
Yeah,
it's very.
But they're part of the US.
They differentiate.
So
they're quick to let you know,
but it's because they have their own culture. Which respectfully, I get it, right? So whether or not we're back to China or not, whatever, right? As long as no one's dying, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
But with that being said, Taiwan. I was like, probably not. But he was like, you know what? It'll be fun to add into the list anyways, right? Because controversies, right? Like, and why not learn about who they are too? And, he really wanted to. And he asked me about Hong Kong. Again, Hong Kong, not a country, but they would recognize themselves as one, right? And so he ended up with a list of like, I think 225. That includes territories and like, territories like Antigua and like Anguilla and like, we literally just came back from there. Beautiful, by the way.
Like Puerto Rico,
exactly.
Another situation where you're like, wait, what? Like, but it is its own country.
Exactly.
And if you go there, that they let you know that we're not fucking American over here.
So he wants this to be very informational and well-rounded, right? So we're adding everything in there. Wow. So right now we're looking at about 223, 25.
And what's
Antarctica?
the goal?
Antarctica is a bonus.
Wow.
We are going to Antarctica in December.
Damn.
So that is we already literally paid full for the trip.
What's the plan for that?
Holy shit. It's an 11-day excursion trip. We are taking the boats or crossing the most dangerous ocean in the world. So apparently the waves go stupid high, and from the videos that we've seen, people get tossed around in the boat. I'm excited to vlog about that.
And what is it? The Strait of Gibraltar?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
dude,
My mom went and did that. She stepped foot on. It was like a goal of theirs.
Really?
And she talked about it to me.
Wow,
I was like,
how was it for her?
Amazing. She's once in a lifetime experience. She has a big map where she pins everywhere she's been, and it's covered in pins. That's been like one of her life goals, is just traveling and experiencing different cultures and different. Yeah, she has some really cool videos of, the ice and just the colors are colors you haven't. It looks like a different planet.
I'm so excited.
The fucking North
What's
Pole.
the last one? Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I figured.
Wow.
So we literally just came back from Argentina. Ushuaia is literally the most southern part of Argentina, the most southern part of the earth before you hit Antarctica. So we will have to go back again to go to Antarctica end of the year. But going down there right now, it's wintertime. And my goodness, fam, everything that we saw was like postcard quality. Like, you cannot believe your eyes what you're seeing. The background, just snow mountains, right? The air is so crisp. It feels like if you ever been to Alaska, almost kind of Alaska mix of Alaska and like the UK vibe. And it was phenomenal. It was so amazing to be out there, and it was cold as shit.
That is right. You guys were like snowboarding or skiing. We
were dog sledding. We did snowmobile.
That's what it was.
And then we even took the helicopter up to like one of the
high points.
And then it was just fluff.
Crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
What did you think overall of the country? Because you guys,
Argentina?
You guys have fun though. Dude. It looks like a blast. I'm like, dude, this guy's living the life, man.
It was fun. It was the best beef I've ever had.
And then you go to Antigua. Yeah. And then you go to Antigua, and it's like summer island.
Well, so we kind of eased into it. We worked our way down to it. Right. So we went so that's why we were in Florida first. Florida was the first day for us to like kind of just get used to like traveling again, like flying again.
Yeah.
Cause we're on and off. Right. And when we're on. The first trip we took over 17 flights, domestic and internationally. You know what I mean? Yeah. Last trip, the Antigua to Argentina, that one was so much better, like 7 flights in total. No, 9 flights in total.
Yeah, people don't realize what it is to actually travel around, like the energy it takes and the amount of like navigation and then unexpected problems that pop up and you have to resolve and and the bigger your group, the more stressful that shit can get if you don't have like some experienced people that are like, yo,
every trip has been surprises left and right, you know, but in a good way, right? Everything somehow always, the universe just works itself out.
What's a good lesson you've been taught that you could pass on
from the travels? In general, or just
how many people have taken that many flights and gone through that much shit? I mean, that's wild, bro.
Oh man.
And this is the first leg.
The second leg. So we're about to go on the third leg. Yeah. The first leg was wild because the first leg was going from Afghanistan. That was our first country, right? To then Albania and
But both those countries are like, for the most part, for most people, no-go zones. Like, yo, you ain't going there, you know, like it's over your head, you know, be careful.
Sure.
What was it like there?
Afghanistan?
Yeah.
It was, so we were there for 5 days. Every day has been very eventful. Every day has been very on your toes. Every day has been eye-opening. People there, freaking, you think Thailand are nice. People there are like insanely nice where they'll invite you to their houses. It's so weird. And you could just tell the moment you land, you could tell that the country has been through it. The country is trying to get back on their feet. The country is trying to figure it out. They are currently 20 years behind. Like they're still a third world country that are still trying to figure out their electricity. You know, they have electricity, time. This is like China back in the day. Back in the early 2000s, China was the same way. Because they're so overpopulated, they have to conserve their energy. So every certain clock on the day, either during the day or nighttime, usually around 12 to 1 a.m., they shut off the power citywide, world, or like countrywide kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So trying to get used to that again was interesting, right? The moment we landed, and there was high security. Taliban is currently the government of Afghanistan, and our image of Taliban, right? Terrorists and like, you know, all that stuff. So when you first arrive, the initial fear is there because what we know is what we know, right? We don't know much more. Mm-hmm. And they all have fucking AKs. Right, they all armed
at the airport and shit.
At the
right,
airport, the moment you land, fam,
they're inside the airport.
They're inside. Yes, exactly.
Real Taliban.
Yeah. Real Taliban. They run the whole thing. They run the whole system.
So how did you guys go about navigating going into that, making sure that you're not going to get fucked?
Tour guides.
Got it.
You need tour guides. There are only few licensed tour guides in Afghanistan right now because they're still working on their tourism. And because Taliban is in charge, they want to make sure everything is in system. And again, this is still old school, right? Because they're behind. Everything's through paperwork. And they have phones. They do still have they have social medias and stuff. But again, controlled by the government. They use WeChat to send documentations of every tourist. So they will send into a database for the Taliban to know. And there's checkpoints at every exits, entrance of different cities, and sometimes even in between the roads. So imagine going from LA to San Francisco, right? Going out of LA, you'll have a maybe even a couple of checkpoints. And then you go through outside, right? And then you probably hit maybe Santa Barbara, right? There, it's a checkpoint. And then you go up again. Every single cities, whatever, there's always a checkpoint. So they know where you are, right? Especially us as tourists, they know where you are. But all the licensed tour guide will make sure to have all the permits ready to go. And if you need a film permits, you need drone permits, you need whatever permits that needs to handle your trip, they will take care of it. Thank God we had a really good tour guide that we found online through another content creator that went to Afghanistan. So if you ever wanted to go, again, highly recommended, go. But find a good tour guide, and I could recommend you one that took care of us. But yeah, with that being said, just like if it wasn't for our tour guide, every single checkpoint that we had,
you would have got
it stopped and
right?
just so much
all your shit looked through.
You don't speak the language,
so much problem, fam. Because we do carry, like, we have camera gears, we have, like, you know, our bags, luggage, and stuff.
It's a lot of shit.
It's a lot of stuff. Yeah. So like going through every checkpoint, he just has to hand them this paperwork, say a few things, and they're very brotherly love, by the way. And again, the country is Muslim, so they're very brotherly love. Like they, you know, dab each other up like the way we do, but they like do this head thing. And then, they're very loving. Yeah.
So as long as you're with a local that's a tour guide, you should be good.
And follow the rules, right? Yeah. We always make sure that we don't film the military. So any military government building, which when you're in Kabul, which is the capital, there's a lot of them. Because they used to be old military bases from the US and like the British and stuff like that too. So
wow, so they just Taliban's running that shit now, huh? That's fucking scary.
When we exited, they took
that's some scary shit.
Our old, like, you know, convoys and stuff, and they use, you know, as like trucks and all that stuff. It's funny. Did
you get any? Was there any, you know, because you hear Afghani, you know what I mean? Like one of the most popular strains, landrace strains.
Especially for hash.
Are they growing weed out there? Did you get that vibe or hash?
I did not dare.
Yeah. You're with a group that doesn't. So you're like.
But you didn't smell it in the air?
Nothing.
No. So within the last 2 years, 3 years since Taliban took over, they've completely wiped out all narcotics in Afghanistan. Clean,
super conservative.
They do it really well. Very to the religion, but they were considered as, for them, the freedom fighters, right? Now they have their one government and they're at peace. Would you say people there are happy? They're happy as hell.
Damn.
Everyone is just going about their lives. Everyone just wants to be better. Like, you see the people that are educated. We met. Well, here, it gets a little tricky here now because of their religion, right? Women's rights is very, very sensitive and very, like, strict. But we've met educated women out there, right? There are educated people out there. That they were engineers, they were like computer science and stuff like that. But when we had the opportunity to chat with them, they're very reserved. They opened up to us because we're tourists. And the moment our tour guide came, they just all went silent. You could just feel the vibe. It's insane, dude. It's insane to see that difference. The fear that the women out there still like live with. It's
well, they can't have careers right now. So she could have been a doctor, and now that's it. You're no longer a doctor. You're a mother and a wife. So that ended. So you go though from Afghanistan to Angola, which is Africa.
Yep. Yeah.
You probably have to have security, I'm guessing, as well when you go to Angola, or what's that like?
Angola was more chill. No, actually, Angola was like, it was very third world as well. So that aspect of things were. Oh man, it's so tough because as the more of these countries you travel, you just feel so bad. You know, some of these people were born in these situations and you just like, you want to do so much more for them, right? In Afghanistan and Angola, we see the cities that are built, right? So in Angola, the capital is built off of, the country itself is built off of oil. Right, that's where their money comes from. But because of corruption and whatnot, the country has not developed well.
Goes all
but
to
they're
the top.
Rich, yeah, and that their main capital. Oh my God, it's high rises. It's beautiful capital.
Wow,
But
is this in north or south?
This is down north.
Okay.
South Africa and the borderline.
Near Cape Town or?
No, on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Facing the Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like you're just like, and then you start seeing like the life out there too, though. Like the villages are still a thing, right? There's still different villages out there that are still lack of water and still trying to make a living selling things domestically. The roads are like all fucked up. You want to talk about bad potholes? LA's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? LA is nothing. Their potholes is like crater size. Like you think freaking
Fuck around and die.
Oh my God. Because dude, we ran in so many, one of the problems we ran into when our van like got burned out because of those potholes. And then we're dealing with wheel issues and axle problems and stuff because of it. It was bad, you know?
So then where do you go? Start to bounce, or what do you see? What's the next place after Angola?
After Angola, we went to Algeria. Now we've flown.
Dude,
up
all
to
these
North
places are
Africa.
you're going in, you're like looking at each other like this could be the last trip, you know, like we might not make it past the A's, you know.
You're
Fuck,
on
what's
A.
in the B's? Like, I'd be looking like at
the
those
Bahamas.
down, like,
I'm like, we can't be in the Bahamas right
Bahamas is
now.
fun.
can we extend the Bahamas?
But even B though, you got Bolivia. You know, you get some other
I
crazy.
said Albania,
Yeah. Well, so we went to Albania.
another place that you hear is like, yo,
Well, Albania was chill. Albania was actually chill. Albania,
I love
didn't
his
realize.
misconceptions.
Yeah, these.
it's like most shit on the fucking media, man.
Yeah.
you go there and you're like, dude, what? There's
Great people,
There's no fire out
hospitable.
here. You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
You definitely will be able to find sketchy places, sure, in different countries. Everywhere does, right?
Yeah.
Albania was actually safe. Albania, even sketchy places, is stealing. You know what I mean? No one's getting murdered, and literally, like their statistic on murder was like 1 a year or something like that.
Yeah, because you get hung or something,
Yeah,
killed, right?
I don't know. Yeah, but
tortured.
they were low. They were very freaking low.
The penalties are so high. The culture is just like, yeah, you just don't do
It's
that.
unacceptable
Yeah.
behavior.
Unless you want to die, you know, probably.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that, but it's like, I'm sure it's harsh penalties that's like, I don't know. It's a culture thing too. Cause like when no one does it, who wants to do it?
Is a lot of these places inspiring dishes now too that you've brought into your repertoire? Because I'm sure at every place when you're spending 4, 5, 6 days, whatever it is, you're trying the local culture, you're eating the local food, you're meeting the
trying
people,
to, for sure.
right?
Trying to. I mean, man, again, we're on the go.
Mm-hmm.
So like constantly, a lot of times we just have to grab something quick, right? But one thing I did notice, Mediterranean food is quite wide in terms of influence. Like Albania, for example, I would not think Albania, because Albania is European, right?
Yep.
They're in Europe.
Yep.
They're really big on gyros.
Yep.
Gyros and the plates.
Right by Greece.
Yeah. It makes sense. You know, it makes sense. So a lot lot of that, I'm like, yo, I fuck with it.
Yeah, rotisserie meats.
It's a good area over there. The water is fucking amazing out there.
Beautiful.
Some of the nicest I've ever seen.
But then you go to places like Aruba and Antigua, man, the water there is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What'd you think about the food though?
Okay.
Because I have an issue with this because I work from Florida.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of Caribbean traveling, going to islands and stuff because it's short flight, it's accessible. My one takeaway though is the food is always a challenge on any island down there because on most of them, because I haven't been to Jamaica and certain things. I got to put that out there. But like I've been to Antigua, I've been to St. Lucia. The food, it's definitely harder to find like some bomb ass food in my opinion.
I think just depending on weight. Well, I agree with you. There's definitely a few times where I'm like, I don't know if I want to eat this. But what I always go for are like their stews. You know, like their oxtail stews.
Smart,
you can never go wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then like their wings, their anything jerkin.
Yep.
Anything jerkin, right? Because they've done that right. And if you know that's your flavor, you can't go wrong with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely got to know what to get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, for sure.
Get your little fritter.
Where was this? This was at Antigua. There's this thing called go some. Wait, hold up. Oh man, I think it was called goat soup or goat water. Goat water. It was called goat water. And you're like, what the hell is goat water, right? It's a goat stew, but they serve it in a cup. It was really unique, but they call it goat water. And it's like one of their main thing. I thought it was pretty good. Definitely their tradition.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, goat water.
It's very Caribbean. They do like souse that way and some other dishes. So you start to move around. What else? Where are you going from here then? Where are you starting to
Well, so everything we try to do, Elton's plans. So Elton plans everything. He does everything. It's him and Ginger. They're like the best like duel, right? So they go from plotting the trip. Elton makes sure that everything, all the countries that we visit per leg are economically like make sense and that's efficiently. And also like for the eco, we're not flying so much, right? So we try to keep every leg within each other. So the first leg, we went from Albania to Afghanistan, from Afghanistan to Angola, from Angola to Algeria. And then we were going to do Andorra, but man, we got sick. At Algeria, everyone got food poisoning and that just took us out. We were supposed to have 4 more days of filming and then go home. That was like all we had. And we just got taken out by this like flu or whatever it is.
What was it?
It was food poisoning for sure. I think so. I mean, dude, TMI, but I never like had piss out of my asshole before, bro. That shit was insane.
Do you remember the dish that did it?
It was a mom and pop shop. And there was 3 dishes that we got. Yeah, it was one of those for sure. Yeah, because after that, we all felt very icky and it just took us one by one. Boom, boom, boom. Anyways, and then after that, then the second leg we just had, we did all the Caribbeans, right? So we went to Anguilla, then we went to Antigua, then we went to Aruba, and then down to Argentina. So all that is within that area.
And you got to think I'm watching his story. I don't know the back end of all this shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, these guys are living life. Holy shit. And then you're back here and you're all getting on an RV and a bachelor party with matching outfit. I'm just like, dude, it's nonstop. Like these dudes are doing it, you know?
It's a lot, bro. But like, that's definitely one challenge that I'm dealing with is trying to figure out that balance for myself.
But you got to seize those opportunities. That opportunity.
I don't think anyone can pass up, hey, we're going to go to every country in alphabetical order.
I don't think so either.
And document it.
I will feel dumb to say no.
You're in a small club of people that have ever done that.
Yeah, man. But people always ask you about your life though, like, right? Like, all right, so Jay, how old are you right now? I'm 28. I'm about to be 29 end of this year. Okay. You have a girlfriend yet? Nah. Okay. How long is this trip going to take?
When you're fucking traveling,
this is going to be like 8 years, I think, on track for 8 years. It's going to take 8 years to finish from A through Z, you know?
And maybe longer if you keep running into some bad dishes.
You know,
fucking,
you know what I'm saying?
6 months due to,
my God.
Dysentery. You guys might have to get sponsored by McDonald's or something.
Dude,
fucking.
I hope the brand sees this and like sees what we do.
Yeah.
Because every episode we hit so far, my God, it's been fun. You know, everything we've done so far with the people, doing something there is one thing, right? We're always looking to find what they're known for, you know, what are some big adrenaline things that we could do, you know, snowmobiling or like dog sledding or jump off the bridge or whatever it is, right? It's really about the people there, right? Like you asked me earlier, how is the people out there in Argentina? Dude, they are so nice. They are probably the most content people aside, like also Thailand, right? They're probably more content than Thailand. Their economy there right now is really bad, right? They're going through hyperinflation. Their currency is currently constantly changing in values in a bad way. With that being said, everyone there is just happy that they have a job as long as they have a job. Yeah.
Happy to work.
Yeah. And they're content with what they do. And they would love to do that for the rest of their lives as long as they could keep what they have. It's crazy mentality out there in terms of like how content and how chill it is, you know? Yeah.
The thought here that everyone has in the US is that, and this has been fed to us by US propaganda, is that, everyone wants to move here. Everyone wants to come here. When you travel outside the country, you realize really quickly, you're like, not really. That's not true at all. Like most people, they want to take a trip here, but they don't want to move here. They love their country. Thailand, that's the majority of people, I would say, is like they would maybe come visit and maybe work to help their family out and send some money back. But it's not because they love this country more than their country. Like they love where they're from and what their culture is. You know, they're very proud, but in a humble way that's welcoming. And it's interesting to see, because you'll realize really quickly, like, oh, we got fed like a bunch of like, you know, it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo at the end of the day. It's like, oh, it's, you know, everyone wants to come here. And, you know, for some places, yeah, I get it. It does make sense. But for a lot of countries, it's like the population's happy there. And even if they are going through economic problems and stuff like that, like they love where they're from and they don't want to leave. I realize that. And especially going to Thailand, I was like, nah, these people, they're not like dying to go to America. That's false.
Yeah.
You know, especially right now. And we're losing that edge of like desire, where people are starting to hear now and see the shit show going on. And they're like, I don't think I want to go over there.
Every country goes through this cycle. Look at, I mean, we're talking about South American countries where they literally are pumping oil out and then they're giving away their money, or the amount of corruption, right? So, but now they got back hold of their government, and now you see an economic boom, and then the next guy comes in and ruins, you know, it's like you go through these struggles in this almost breathing, you know, that happens with every country. It's really interesting to watch. I take a lot from my stepdad and from people around me, and they always say the best thing you can do as a young child all the way to an older, travel. Travel, just travel.
Facts. Because look, I think at the end of the day, everything's all perspective. There's definitely goods in US. People come here for a reason. There's so much opportunity the US has to offer. Yeah. Right? It's expensive as fuck. That's for sure. But
and that wasn't always like that, though.
No, it wasn't.
Nah, it's been this last 4 or 5 years. Really. I really got a bad taste in my mouth. And honestly, that was a big part of why I wanted to go to Thailand for 30 days, because I'm starting to have it in my head where I'm like, I think I'm going to build elsewhere simultaneously while I'm still building here, because I don't want to solely rely on this country for my happiness and my freedom and my ability to like live my life. Because they like here in America, hustle culture is promoted. It's work. Yeah. Retire when you're almost dead. Facts. Now you're dead.
Facts.
That's very not living life.
Very corporate.
It's not like that in other countries, especially in Thailand and stuff. There's like, they work hard, but they also like enjoy their time off and like they have good balance. You know, it's there for them, you know, like, and even their work. I never went into one place where I was like, man, this would suck to work here. Not one place, from the gym to the, you know, anywhere I went, I was like, everybody's loving it here. Like I just
have a question for you though. In the future, when you do want to raise a family, would you raise them here or would you raise them somewhere else?
Yeah, man, it's tough to say, man. It's tough to say because I'm like late to that game, at least like social standard wise, you know, and I don't know. I know that I'd probably have to have them in private school or do some homeschooling or, you know, it's pretty twisted here at the end of the day, where a lot of people are having that problem, especially in states like California.
Facts.
You know, I come from Florida though. And in Florida, I don't worry about it as much. I think that'd be better to have a family in a state like Florida. What we're seeing in the US is almost like state to state, the differences are really starting to take place and individualize that. I hope not, but it seems to be that it could eventually split up in the Federation of the United States. I know Texas wants to split off for sure.
I was literally about to say, have you heard about what Texas been up to?
Yeah,
like all
for
these things they're building. Bro, they're like running like Saudi Arabia right now. They're like Dubai.
Parallel it with South America, parallel the size of America with Europe, parallel it with a lot of places. The states would be different countries though. And so it makes sense that it would almost perform like that a little bit, right? Especially when things aren't going all well and everyone has different opinions on where things should be. But again, travel, huh?
Yeah, because look, like the perspective now we have, once you travel more countries, you kind of realize how big the US is, right? How complex we are as a country. Like we have so many fucking states. Everyone has their own mind and individuality and culture and everything. Like America has our own culture. You know, people sometimes argue America doesn't have culture. We do. Dude, god damn, we have so many in so many different states. Like, you can't say we don't.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, we're going through shitholes right now for sure. Like, it's tough. Time is tough for us right now, right? With money, with economic, with politics. But at the end of the day, the opportunity is still here.
No,
right?
it is. It is.
Know? So like,
that's that balance you got to figure out.
Yeah,
Because
that's that balance.
it's interesting though, because you went to Thailand and then now you're already finding yourself back.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because of
did you feel like you were getting more content done over there and like able to lock in better?
I was trying to. I think
the hustle culture is way less there. I feel like,
yeah, for sure.
It's harder to find
Even
people that are like, people are very content and happy with just enough.
Yeah, it would have been a different type of journey for me if I was there, in terms of like, my content would have been second. I think number one would have been business. I think that was more of a business headspace for me to be in, because everyone I've talked to were either dispensary owners, they've farmers, right? They've all ran some sort of business that are into restaurants, or, you know what I mean? They've all worked different areas. And with that being said, like, that would have opened up another sector for me, right? It was a lot on business than to content, but I wasn't there long enough to do both, you know? But I think in the future, for sure. Now that the direction of cannabis there is staying stable, right? It makes more sense. But 8 years to finish this project, you know, it's like, when do I get to do that, dog?
No, and it's going to be cool to see, because you're going to be a different person at the end of that 8 years.
I think so, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
Are you locked in and committed for the 8?
I believe so. Like, there's 5% of me that are still like, are you sure? Right. But like, as long as I can is currently when I'm at. Yeah. I think I am going to reevaluate at the end of this year, after Antarctica, and see how I feel. Right. We've gone through 2 legs of trips so far. We will be on a 3rd leg soon. That's in September. It's, you know, we'll see. Right.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to endure.
It is a lot.
Because you hit a few countries where you have some life-threatening or like close calls, or like got so sick that you didn't think you were going to make it out.
Probably the closest call.
Really?
By far.
And you're just getting started.
That time was when we first started, for sure. We ended up encountering the Taliban. This was by accident too, but we got to eat dinner with the Taliban twice, with 2 different districts. So there were one Taliban from one district, the other one from Tora Bora, the other district, at 2 different occasions, by accident. Both were by accident. But the last one that we encountered was not the friendliest way at first start, because we thought we got in trouble with them. We were visiting in Tora Bora, which is where Osama Bin Laden's cave and the mosque was located. They had just opened up to tourism 2 months ago, that area. So it's still being developed. And is this like literally in the buttfuck nowhere in the mountains? No service, nothing. This little village by the caves and the mosque, and that village is currently, all the residents there were like, you know, Osama Bin Laden's like ex-military soldiers and their kids and, you know, whatnot. There's only a few of them left, probably like, I say 15, 20 of them in that village. But then outside of that village, there's still a few other small villages. And then there's like the Taliban base, who used to be the US and the British base and whatnot, an hour out. Anyways, coming into it, again, talked about checkpoints, right? We've gone through the checkpoints. They know we're here. We're there to film a video. We're there to film, you know, being, you know, at Osama Bin Laden's caves, like what that's like, what it looks like, and, you know, hear the stories from the soldiers and whatnot. Keep in mind, we're in the car for 8 hours, just going through the mountain range, going through the roads, trying to get to that spot. Now, 8 hours after, we're running out daylights, right? We're filming a video. The whole premises of that video that day was to get the caves and like the mosque and whatever else we could find. We were supposed to go see, you know, a tank. We're supposed to go shoot a sniper. They told us we can. And then, so we got there. The tank was like just this like ex-Russian tank. It was like this rundown bombed Russian tank. It was kind of cool, but just in the middle of nowhere. You know, it was really random, right? And then we moved on to the next location. We got to the mosque, right? We got to see the village a little bit. And then, the villagers, very friendly, very hospitable, came to welcome us with tea, with snacks. And then, we got to talk to them for a little bit, got to learn, about their story here, how long they were showing us pictures, of like them holding AKs, kid holding AK-47, now all grown and stuff, telling us this story. I'm like, dude, what the heck? This is kind of insane, right? We are now getting ready. After talking to them, sunlight is running out. We're like, we should go see the caves. The caves is a hike, 20-minute hike down the creek, across the creek. We're like, okay, let's go grab our gear. Let's, get ready. Let's bounce. Everyone went to the car. We're putting our, putting sweater on, might get cold, getting all the camera gears ready and whatnot. We're literally about to be ready to go. This white pickup truck, pulls up on us. Okay. 9 Talibans. It's a Taliban car. You see decals, you see the Taliban flag. 9 Talibans hop out the van. Everyone strapped with AKs and M4s. Everyone had like vest on with 6 magazines on their chest. Like, what do you need that many ammunition for? First of all, glasses on, like mask on, just like ready to go. We're like, yo, we're just tourists here. Like, where's Munir? Like, where is our tour guide? We need him ASAP. We don't, and you know what I mean? Like, yo, what is happening? Munir goes talk to him, like, talk to the Taliban. I think it was like the commander at first, right? Talk to him. They're all laughing. And so we're like, okay, this is weird. Like, but none of them are smiling except for them too. You know what I mean? And they're looking at us. We're like, trying to, everyone is like freaking out. And again, Ginger's with us, by the way. So Ginger is Elton's fiance, so soon to be wife. Women, being there is a whole nother thing. So she's freaking out. We're like freaking out. And they're just like, Munir comes to us and he's just like, don't worry. Sorry they scared you. This is just, they just want to welcome you. This is their way of welcoming you. And they want to make sure you guys are safe. You guys are having fun. We're like, bro, what the fuck? You guys couldn't just like slowly pulled up and, smile at us a little bit or something. Like, none of that was displayed, And then they're like, and he was like, if you guys are comfortable, they would like to escort you to the caves. We're like, what are we going to say? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect for the video.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, what a fucking intro.
But I don't think it was a question. It was like, hey, we're going to escort you to the caves.
For sure. We're like, yeah, of course, definitely. Yeah. Holy shit. Everyone is like quiet. Yeah. We're like, okay, let's just get on about it then, I guess, right? And
it's getting dark.
It's getting dark. So we're like, okay, fast. We got to do this fast. Cameraman's in the back, and then Elton's with the cameraman. Ginger's in between us. She's the girl. We want to make sure she's good. She wants to stay in between us to feel secure. Fine, stay behind me. I'm in the front. I have a GoPro right in front of me to capture both of us, and the cameraman gets Elton. We're kind of a little like spaced out. So we get A-B storyline. Taliban's next to us, AK strapped up again, just jumping rocks, like nothing. We're here quiet as hell, trying to like just get to the place. 20-minute hike. Scared as fuck. I'm trying to come up with content, trying to talk about the situation right now, kind of explain a little bit what's going on. And then I'm like looking at the screen. I see like Ginger and I'm like not hearing her. I'm like, are you okay? She goes like, she takes a deep breath. She goes like, yeah, I just, I hope we could trust Munir. And like, we're not walking to our graves right now.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, that was when I realized
spun you out.
It spun me the fuck out because I was like,
you're like, wait, what? That's the storyline about that.
Yeah, I didn't think of that, bro. It was going through my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's right. We could just be walking in and pop. That's why they have so many ammunition.
Game over.
That's it. And what? I mean, we're just a bunch of YouTubers, anyways. Like,
done deal.
The videos don't go out. Like, no one's ever gonna know.
Oh, it's whatever storyline that is told by the people who are still living.
So like, I was, dude, Austin, kid you not, Mission Impossible, all the movies like Rambo, whatever I could think of was just running through my head. What action am I going to do? I see one person here. I see one person there. This is the guy I'm going to grab. I'm going to grab his gun. I'm going to, do all this crazy. I'm ready to do all these scenarios, bro. I'm freaking the fuck out. We got to the first cave. They go, you first.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
Fuck. Okay, what are you gonna tell
and
them?
It's sketchy as it is.
Sketchy, bro. It's just a cave.
It's fucking Bin Laden's cave. Like, what?
Yeah, and
hold on.
It was cool. You're right.
Yeah.
Like we walked in.
Was it nice or was it
I'm
fucked
here,
up?
so we're alive.
Yeah.
The cave was like a cave, right? You see like haze in there. Like sometimes they store animals, and some you see poop, and there's like
it's a cave.
It's a cave. You see bats and stuff. It's a cave. It's small cave, and they're like telling the stories. Oh yeah, this is where the soldiers used to like sleep in. This is where they used to have their food. This is where they store ammunitions. Some of them are bombed, so you just see like whatever's left. And then the village are very curious because we have cameras, so the villagers are like following us too. There's kids. Honestly, at the end of it all, it was very just in the head.
Mm-hmm.
It was very chill.
It's that propaganda getting to you.
Exactly.
Because we don't even know. We don't even know the real reality.
Well, in that and in rare cases, people I'm sure have had problems, but that's anywhere.
Yeah.
100%.
And you're in a war zone.
And you're in a foreign country in general.
Well, if you're there for other reasons, then you know what you signed up for. Kind of,
Exactly. For us, we're tourists, right?
Yeah,
we're just tourists documenting everything.
Bystanders.
And they were so kind. They showed us all of it, and they escorted us to like the other side of the village, kind of introduced us to the older heads, showed us the farm. Like, again, the Taliban also, they are just visitors to the village as well. So like the villagers are taking care of both parties. Yeah, but the Taliban obviously know them more because they, this is their section to patrol and stuff sometimes. But again, they're also guests. So they're offering like us like fresh milk and yogurt and having us try all these things, which was they're fresh, dude. I'm talking about fresh. You know what I mean? I was
another thing where you're like, hold your stomach. Like, God, please.
Not my cup of milk, but yeah. But it was cool to see, and the kids were very friendly, very cute. They're very curious, want to learn. Whatever I say, like sometimes I'd be like, yeah, or like, sheesh. They copy because they have no idea what it is, but they're like, oh, that's cool, and they just do it with me.
That's tight.
So,
that's tight.
When you looked at the entire list, was there one or two places that stood out the most that you would be most excited to go to?
Ooh,
because I don't think most people have even looked at a list like that and been like, where would I want to go?
I really want to go to Switzerland, and I really want to go to Denmark.
Okay, damn.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would not. That's why I had to ask. I would not expect that.
Yeah, I'm a very nature person too. And like those I've heard and seen, there's everything, again, postcards. After going to Ushuaia, like I am stoked to see those countries. Those are definitely my top two. Yeah.
You got to really hang in there to.
I mean, that's always an option too, right? Elton gave me the option. He said awesome. It's open invite. If you want to go on this leg of the trip, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Right. But right now, so far, he's counting me in for every single one. I think I've eased into the channel. I only started filming with him about half a year ago.
Wow.
Ish. Sometimes I was in the video when I was helping him. I get caught in the camera, so like they point me out who I am. I was helping him filming an episode before, but like I've always been in the background, right? It was only like recently where I started filming with him. Actually, a year ago. Sorry, I was on his series of Across the Country a year ago.
And where can people? Where can you tune into this? Because we've been talking about it, and now I have to follow. Like I do. I want to see this.
YouTube. So 2 YouTube channels. One is called TFIL, stands for The Fuck It List. He started that channel with like 1,000 things he wants to do as his fuck it list before he dies. That's like what the channel is about. But it's a lot about he doesn't like to do it on his own though. He likes to do it with people. So like a lot of community, a lot of friends, right? So that's why a lot of the times when you see the videos he's in, it's always with different friends. Or just like, the friends that we have. Yeah. Very close niche. He wants, again, like what's the word? He's a people's person. Yeah, he cares a lot more about other people than himself. Yeah, so
That's
so
awesome.
he makes sure everyone's taken
That
care
makes
of. And have
for
fun.
hell of a YouTube creator, because you
Yeah.
think of guys like Mr. Beast
Yeah.
and shit like that, and it's
Yeah.
like they're top of the top because he's not in it to just try to rock a Lambo and show off some
No.
shit. He's actually the opposite, where he's like going to villages and building homes and like installing water and solar, like really
Experiences.
like
dude, we go through these like
yeah.
we go through these like countries. A lot of the times, like these tour guides or even these locals have never done like go-karting or like, the simple stuff, right? Or like been on a pirate ship before on a party bus. We're checking things off for a lot of these people. That's the most joy I get from Elton.
Yeah.
You could see it all on his face. Like, it's great. We do all these things. Sometimes he even says, he's like, I don't know if I get desensitized from the joy of jumping off planes anymore. Like I feel like sometimes it's fun, but like I only get so much fun out of it now. Like I don't know if I even like care
It's
for
not a
bungee
new
jumps
experience anymore.
You know what I'm saying? But he gets so much more joy, so much more like
Seeing someone else do it the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
what else is
the whole
left?
thing. Yeah.
When you go to every country, you see the world. This is why they say, like, when you make it to a certain level financially, it does get harder to be happy. And people think that money equals happiness. But honestly, happiness is progression, and new experiences is that. When you go somewhere the first time, it'll never be the same the second time, really.
Yeah.
It'll be still good, but it's not going to be that unknown discovery phase of like, I've never been here before.
And in my opinion, it always tastes better with other people.
Yeah. Yeah. If you got no one to enjoy it with,
tastes way better with other people.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So TFIL is for the series that we're doing right now.
Oh, sick.
And then you'll start catching the videos that we filmed last year. He just started popping them out to get prepared for the new series to come out.
But for your specialty, which is how we got put on to you.
Yeah.
How do I find you?
Instagram right now, and Instagram and Facebook is my largest platform.
At Vibe with Chew.
Yep. That's
CHU.
CHU. Yeah. VIBEWITH CHU. And then YouTube, I'm just starting to get my feet wet into that. Was trying to figure out what my niche was going to be for YouTube. Now I think I'm kind of, again, 10 videos, right? I'm only 4 videos deep. So right now I start figuring out what format and what vibe I want to bring. Right now I'm aiming for like a lifestyle. There's definitely like a topic to that episode. For example, I just hosted my 10-year reunion, high school reunion. Crazy. And that was going to be an episode into a vlog.
Wow.
And then, but throughout though, you see that I went to get a haircut, went to this smoke event, whatever. And what led up to that is like, I think the idea so far, but I'm working on it.
From being around different creators and people that have large audiences and stuff, when it comes to the vlog, what format do you really see working for a vlog? Because I think like we've had to reframe our minds into like, not just saying everything's a vlog, because then we just record, and then it ends up being like 30, 40-minute video. And it's like, I don't know. We haven't figured that out.
You know what though? I think that's it.
Yeah, really. It just takes time, huh?
One, it just takes time for people to see who you are, but also like what people want to see in a vlog is what they want to see with you. You know what I mean? Like what your life is. So everything that happens in your life, you gotta capture it.
Yep.
We are our biggest critic, right? So we're here to think about what is not content, what's worth content, what's not worth content. But sometimes what's not worth content might be the content. Right. So like, you're right though. We have so much going on in our lives. Sometimes we have to condense it.
Yeah.
Right? How do we condense that? That is a later problem.
Got it.
I think right now the biggest thing for us as vloggers getting into it is just to show what your life, day-to-day life is like. You know, people want to see what goes through your life, kind of like what streamers do, right?
Yeah.
Like streamers streams for hours because throughout their hours, a lot of shit happens in an hour. Someone could come in your room and be like, yo, you want to smoke a blunt? Sure. That's the whole 30-minute right there of us just chatting and smoking. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Or you got these IRL now. In real life,
yeah,
they're on the move. That shit's crazy.
That's a whole other
If you go on Twitch
beast,
right now, you can be looking at Norway, the city center, and people just walking around, and you're like, "Wait, what?" And then you're like, "It's such a different world."
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, you kind of just unlocked something in me.
Good, you unlocked a lot for us this episode.
Yeah,
Whoa.
well, that's what this is about. Progressing this
love that.
discussion.
And they're getting better at it. The DJI Osmo 3 has the thing. I've been seeing Fulcrum. Shout out to Fulcrum.
Yeah.
Cool ass creator. He's in the Bay Area.
Okay.
In the weed content. He'll light up a joint anywhere and just start smoking like it's totally normal. And people are like, what the fuck? It's crazy. Like,
Whoa.
kid's crazy. He's lit for
I
sure.
gotta check him.
But he's been doing it on the Osmo, the 3, just the DJI,
Easy.
just on Twitch.
That's what I use for
And
vlogging.
I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, dude, this is genius.
Dude, that thing has
because
such good quality.
I'm going to get one for sure. It's on my
Well,
list.
let's talk about that. What would you recommend to someone who wants to get in the game or is in either in weed or they have passions outside of cannabis, but they're watching this because cannabis is one of their passions? Like, what would be some advice? Like, you're talking about the DJI camera. That's game for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I met a lady at a Spanish restaurant and we were all just talking about the food actually in El Puente. And she's like, my husband's been telling me forever I need to show the places we go. And I was like, you should. And she's like, but I just don't know. And I was trying to explain to her, listen, there's cameras now for $200 that are phenomenal for just solo shots.
Even with just what you're holding with your phone, like every day your phone, fam.
There you go.
You know, that's how I started. I even till this day still use it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah, your phone, like your
That's
phone
the
is
most go-to powerful thing. Even we'll have all this equipment a lot of the times, and then he just whips out the phone because it's like,
because the quality.
and a lot of places too will be like, oh, no recording, this. You can get away with all that with the phone.
oh my God.
There you go.
That's a hack too,
Man.
But I would say like you said, capture everything. So just document. Don't worry about what you're going to create. Just document your life and then share it, and then you will find your lane and niche.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different for every audience, right? And every you kind of got to go with what the community wants that you're building. Listen to them, get that feedback.
Yeah, facts. But to the equipments, right? Like the equipments you're talking about, phone for one. DJI is also a good one to start for vlogging because they does both horizontal and vertical, right? So horizontal for YouTube, for podcasts is perfect. And it's so easy. And also like you could get away with that too.
It's got the
gimbal.
Exactly.
The stabilizer.
But when you film on that, you get both versions. So you can apply it to either platform.
You could have the option. So you could flip the screen real quick. It'll go from a vertical to horizontal. Then it'll basically change the format to that. And then but it's so nice to use because the gimbal, like you said, right? That gimbal gives you the cinematic, like smooth transition. It's really good for B-rolls. Even for our trip, I will bring that to help Elton to get B-rolls of like my hand sticking out down to the wheels so you can see the car wheels to like the dirt.
Smart.
Super cool, but it's stabilizer, right? Because the gimbal. So it's a lot of cinematic shots from that.
That's smart because if you were to break that or lose that, not that big of a deal. You break your phone or lose your phone, big deal. Yeah. Same thing with one of these cameras behind the scenes that's filming. It's like, oh, we're out a couple G's and you're probably not going to be able to replace this easily.
Facts.
Very interesting.
Facts. Yeah.
That's definitely, I mean, bro, like what a plan, next 8 years. So then talk about it a little bit and then we'll bring everything full circle. But the clash you feel in your personal life, because I feel this as well. And I think a lot of people can relate that are in certain lifestyles. It's hard to have a relationship when you're traveling all the time and stuff. It's hard to have some stability. You don't have a routine. You're not able to eat healthy all the time.
Facts.
You're not able, your sleep schedule's fucked up.
This guy would know.
I mean, you're like, there's a lot of shit. Like sometimes like it's hard to exercise, like flights get delayed, things get canceled, you're stuck,
I think the biggest thing is stay flexible. Right. That's one thing that, moldable, what we have to do is just be flexible, adapt. Right. There's always going to be something that happens. You just got to deal with it. Right. There's definitely been times where I felt like I just want to scream and yell and give in. You can. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
Just fucking cry if you need to. You know, men cry.
Yeah.
You know, it's emotion. But at the end of the day, life goes on. You just gotta adapt and roll with the punches, right? So definitely the routine part is hard, right? Stay consistent with the gym is hard when you're traveling and come back from travel, and eating is hard because when you come back from a travel, it's like, man, I miss all the good food, right? Like the ones that you miss that's accessible to your house. Just go grab them and you munch them for a week to reward yourself. I do that all the time. Yeah, dude, for sure. For sure.
What about like the loneliness of not having a relationship or anything, or maybe that little somebody to like just be texting or calling or whatever?
There's definitely times where you have flings, right? Because it gets lonely, right?
Yeah.
You always look for that companionship. And like, I think that causes this traveling thing and like the non-stability causes you want and fish for that stability, fish for that one thing that maybe could be stable in your life. And that's the relationship, right? And then you kind of like subconsciously fish now. Like every conversation you have with somebody could be a potential. You got to learn to switch that off, right? Because it gets kind of weird.
Because you might attach to something that's not right for you.
Yeah, people sense it. You know, we're human beings. We understand intentions. We sense intentions. Because there's a period of time in me where I'm like, I meet new people, and I kind of start having that mentality. Oh, could this possibly be a thing? Right? You come off different.
Yeah.
So when you come off different, they sense it, and that opportunity with that person, nah, it's a no-go. That alone, you're already out of the picture for them, you know, because they sense that you're thirsty, you know?
Yeah.
So then after I realized that, I'm like, okay, stop. Don't chase. Do what makes you happy every day. Even if those days, like you kind of need a day to just chill, do it, take it, right? Like you're helping yourself for the next step. That's what I tell myself every time. And then the next day, then if I have one off day, then all right, let's be productive. What is it today that I'm going to do? Right? Have a checklist maybe. My ADHD, I want to do everything. So like I have a checklist in my notes that constantly changes too. And even still has like things from like, you know, months ago that are checked off that are still there. I'm like, maybe I should delete it. Right. But like I do have a checklist to go through what I need to do. And then there are things where I like prioritize later on. Like, okay, I could do this. And again, things do happen. You know, places are closed or like, you know, something else pops up. I got to move by this over here. Maybe I do this. You just got to adapt. Yeah.
Roll with the punches,
dude, and live
moving
every day.
Do you do that with your own content? Like when you're filming for Vibe with Chew, right? Yeah. Is that something where you say, okay, this day at this time, I'm going to put X amount of hours aside and this is what I'm doing? Or is it just inspiration? I got time. Let me do something.
Oh, man. Even now with Vibe with Chew, for a while I found stability in that because my set has always been the same. When I used to live in Torrance, that's where I was formed, by the way. That's where I grew up and stuff, Torrance. But I used to live in a house with like 5 other guys, and they were like my homies from college. We moved there and like kind of found a place there and just like stay there for a while. I had stability there because my set was the same. I could film day and night, you know, and anytime I want, right? Now being here, I now live in Northridge, you know, living there. I live with the content creators and a few others as well that are within the space. Things are constantly happening. So like, man, let me tell you about yesterday. I was trying to film a video that took me 5 hours. The simplest recipe too, because I told myself yesterday I was going to run some errands. I was going to go to the grocery store. I was going to shop for a video. And then I was calculating my time. I'm like, this video probably only takes me no more than 2 hours, right? Let's make a really simple recipe. Maybe we'll cut it down to even an hour. I made Reese's cup pancake. It was very easy to make, right? Only probably like 5 steps. Took me 5 hours to film because when I got home, I got everything set up. That took 30 minutes. And then people wanted to do things and like there's just different conversations going on. So I kind of lagged it out. That was on me. And then when I started filming, the gardeners came. And that was unplanned, right? No one knew the gardener was going to come. And oh my God, the front yard. And he came to the backyard.
He's like weed eating the window panels.
Everywhere, bro.
What the fuck?
And I was like, oh man. All right. Well, since the gardener came, we have a trampoline wall in the back. So, Elton's backyard is pretty famous. It's made it on to like ESPN and stuff. He has like a tramp wall in the back that we jump on all the time and do tricks. So I was like, you know what? Elton was like, hit up on the chat, was like, anyone want to jump? I was like, this will be a perfect time to jump. Gardener's here. We could just vibe for a little bit. So we jumped for like an hour and a half. So the gardener was there, like, you know, doing his thing, which was fine. Like we had fun. Right. And then Elton goes, anyone want to play spike ball? And then, so like, we got into playing spike ball. That plays, you know, that took another hour. So that alone, you know what I mean? So that dragged on. And then I finally got my setback, you know, my backyard. And I was like, all right, let's film. Then things went wrong with the filming because the product didn't turn out well. Like it looked bad. I'll show you pictures later. It didn't look good. I would not eat it. You know what I mean? But it tastes freaking delicious. Yeah, it tasted really good, but it just presentation was bad.
Yeah.
So kind of like overall that, even though it took 5 hours to make, I filmed everything. So I filmed us jumping on the wall. I filmed the gardener being there. I filmed us doing spike ball, right? Just a few clips and whatnot. And then I filmed me making the pancake and everything that went bad. And then now it's going to turn into a failed, but maybe a good video. You know,
like a vlog, like a long format.
No, it was a short form. It's still a short form.
I saw the jumping on the trampoline and then you're like disappear and then appear. I was wondering what the fuck was going on. I was like, bro, this is crazy. That's why I love your content because I have to figure it out. I'm like, wait, how is he? Okay, there's something down there. Like, you know, he's just a tall ass wall and he's just dropping down and then popping right back up. And you're like, wait, what? You know, but that makes sense now. So that's dope.
It's just everywhere though, right? Like that, I had to adapt to it. That video would have been a very simple recipe video that got turned into very chaotic, but now I'm going to try to chop it into like an ADHD like video. So kind of like, again, it helped. Right. This might just blow up and be one of the best video I ever made. Who knows?
Good lesson for content creators is,
like you said,
make
roll
the
with
best
punches.
of it.
That's you literally taking your own advice, you know?
And showcase the stuff that maybe you don't think people would find interesting.
You might be surprised.
Yes, exactly. It's that's such a great lesson because we're all so self-conscious about like, but it's just this.
And it didn't go how I wanted it to, exactly. And should still post that shit.
Some of my favorite vloggers, like Bald and Bankrupt, Kurt Kaz, like some of these guys that are on YouTube, they just live and film it, and then there's highlights that happen, and there's things that and you get to like really like them as a person because you feel like, oh, I'm standing next to this guy, we're walking down the street together,
like we're homies, dude.
You
know, and like,
you're living through them vicariously, you know. And it's
like we get it though, right? What we do, we get it. Like whenever we do, like you say, you're more of a in real life like streamer. I get it. I feel you too. I think so. I am.
I think if you're on the move a lot, that's more your vibe.
A lot.
You know?
A lot.
And I'm seeing even the top streamers now, like Kai Snot, Aiden Rock, they're doing way more IRL than they ever were before. For sure. Because their room isn't cutting it anymore.
New York.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
even Kai, like you see him, he's like going to Jamaica, he's going here, going there, and you're like, oh shit, this is crazy as fuck.
Yeah.
So they're hitting both angles now because I think IRL is really blowing up. Because people are so curious. Like, imagine you're doing that. You're in Afghanistan, touring the Osama Bin Laden caves. Like, bro, that's gonna go nuts.
Low key.
That will go.
Low key.
Even just you explaining it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a few people take a trip out there now when they hear that. You know, it drives curiosity to where you're like, you know what? I'm gonna dive into discomfort and go do that shit. I want to, you know.
I'm excited for them, for Afghanistan and a lot of these countries that we're covering, because like hopefully, right,
it will
with the millions of exposures that the channels do have. Hopefully, it does bring them more tourism, more light to share with the, you know, where the world.
You guys go back there, you're like royalty. They're like waiting on you,
bro,
like chariots and shit.
Oh my
coming
God,
through the desert.
That would be dope.
Straight up.
I'm just excited. Just even thinking about it, the list of names, like, and just the countries you're going to see and the cultures and the perspective you're going to gain.
Bro, there's some that I'm definitely scared of. You know, I don't even
Which
know.
ones?
I'm still like Haiti.
Yeah.
You know?
You'll be good there.
And like,
money there.
pretty crazy.
A lot of charity, a lot of
They're in a revolution right now.
Yeah.
They're in a full blown revolution right now.
War.
I guess I haven't been up to date as much as I would have.
People are getting.
I just think like I still think there'd be scarier spots than that, though. I don't know.
If you're interested in the world and travel and culture, this sparks curiosity in what you're going to see, what you're going to experience, and who you're going to be at the end of this. Because that will not be the same as what it is now. I just think it's very cool, man. And how your content will evolve is going to be interesting.
I'm very excited to see what the next few years going to shape out to be. Even the next few months. You know what I mean? Because these episodes won't air until September. So like by then we'll have like 10 countries in like already filmed, ready to release.
So, but it starts airing the first one and then going. Yeah. That's sick.
I can't wait.
I'm going to go
see
subscribe right after this.
How do you, and one last thing for people, because they're going to, how do you get the capital, or what's the, if you don't mind explaining a little bit of the foundation of like, how does this even come about? Because most people wouldn't be able to start the conversation knowing that, okay, it's going to cost money. Do I take advertising or do I take an investment and then I make money on the back end off views? Like, what's the?
This
seems like it's part Elton.
This is
question.
Elton's for sure.
Okay.
Seems like he's been doing this a long time. Has millions of subs. So it's
he's able to figure out that.
For sure.
Brand deals, companies.
Brand deals. So brand deals right now have not helped, at least for this series personally. So right now with the TFIL channel is currently going through a rebuilding phase. TFIL started off with like Send This Society, which was a city that they were going to build off of just friends and content creators. And it was a city of like, doing, it was going to have ponds and like you could like go ATVs and, just do a lot of like adrenaline junkie stuff, Yeah. And then that, after that, this is now a more of a put together, more production based, like wholesome like travel videos.
Nice.
Right. So still has the element of traveling, still has the element of like the friends, the camaraderie, but also, with the adrenaline activities that we do with skydiving, bungee jumping, just any like out of the world things that are possible for people to do, but, currently can't do it. So like they could live through us or, learn that they could do it there. Now that will be added onto their list, right? How he's been doing it. You're right. He's been in the game for a minute, right? So he's definitely made worked very hard to build his channel. Right? Right now, his TFIL channel has 4 million subs. The overnight channel has 1.83, I think, something around there. But his fan base are so loyal. He has like, I've never seen such a loyal fan base before. And maybe this is just because he's been in game for so long. People know who he is and what he does. He is like a mentor to me. Like that's where I want to get to. Right. So anyways, going back to how he's funding it though, through the channel for sure. Right. He's hoping that every video hopefully can make the money back.
Yes.
Sure. Right.
Or at least as a whole overall, right? Some will do better than others.
Right. So he right now though, he's projecting this project to be in the reds for him, but he doesn't really care about it because at the end of the day, one, he's checking this off the list. Right. And two, like he's get to do this with friends.
His way.
Right. Exactly. And also like then be able to experience everything with people, community. So like he's definitely in the reds. Hopefully with brand deals and stuff, maybe put him in the greens, or like right now a lot of the expenses are coming from flights, of course. Right. So if airline hops on and like, throw a brand deal with us on these and like, who knows? Or like a PJ. Freaking private jets. Oh my God, that'd be insane.
You're in the jungle putting on Old Spice. No, but it's
you
really
watch
cool
a Mr. Beast video, he'll have one Experian snippet, and I guarantee you they pay a very good price for that. Like,
if not for the full video.
And the interesting thing about who you're speaking of, Ethan, it's kind of like similar to the Mr. Beast model where they take everything they're making, put it right back into the videos, the content, the team, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that builds a community where the people do fuck with you heavy because they see after time, they're like, oh, this is like true shit. This is real shit. It's not like
business too, right? You got to think about what goes into these videos aside just filming. Like for you guys understand, right?
Yeah.
You got to go into the whole production.
People have no clue about
Editors,
the cost of media production.
Thumbnails, sound, just people,
designers, everything,
everything.
copywriters.
Well, and making
everything.
sure you got the angle. What cameras are you going to use? How are you going to use these cameras in conjunction?
And the equipment you need is money.
Yes.
Right? And those, they ain't cheap.
And
bro.
good people are hard to find in this business. There's a lot of people in the business.
Facts.
It's very hard to find a great editor, a great sound guy, a really good travel guy that does video,
Designer.
like on and on and on.
I learned so much from Elton, right?
Yeah.
Like he, just the struggle he goes through trying to find those people. He's now putting like, trying to find the stones on his infinity freaking gloves. He took him years to finally found trustable editors. He was going through that for a long time. A lot of his videos can't come out. Like even the videos now that are coming out for TFIL during this rebuilding phase are videos we filmed a year ago.
Wow.
Because editor issue was such, and then, it's just, again, different styles, right? Different people, different work ethics.
he has a vision for it and it needs to be this vision.
Right.
I find that it's really hard to find a good editor that knows how to do YouTube style long form content. The first thing I'll ask an editor is like, send me some long form stuff. And they either send some stuff from 3-4 years ago or they have nothing. And I'm like, wait, I thought you were an editor. And it's like, dude, anyone, like no offense or anything, but it's like anyone can edit short form up right now off your cell phone. People are whipping it up. My young sister can do that. It's like, so, but the long form is an art. And Mr. Beast talks about that. And he's got the formula down.
You got to have an eye for it too as an editor. There's an eye that you always look for. Yeah. Right. And no, you're absolutely right. Editors are so hard to come by because like good ones are hard to find. Yeah. And it's
then
a hard
you got to be able to afford the good ones because they know
the market's small. Yeah. And it's hard. It's a hard job. It's a very tedious job.
You're watching the same video 1,000 times.
Specific type of person.
Oh yeah.
My buddy would lock himself. He does movies, right? And he came from a family. And I just remember before I understood any of this, he would lock himself in a room and it would be like 7, 8 a.m. And he would like come out the next day. Yeah. In a black room with a big screen and be like burnt, but he's like done. Yeah. And you'd be like 24 hours or like longer straight just to be in the zone and to keep it in your head as one motion picture too, because a lot of people, it's hard to pick it back up a couple days later and then be back in the zone where you were when you first started.
Flow state.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Facts. It's an interesting business. Yeah. I love this combo, man. This is
dude. Fucking amazing.
A lot of gems.
We're gonna keep talking more off the mic. It's like the behind the scenes show we do here. We definitely want to do some cooking content.
We got it.
We must.
We got to whip some shit up, some stoner recipes, some quick on the go. Like,
I'll be back in October. So
sick.
October after our third leg of the trip. I'll have some time here.
Groceries on us, man. Groceries on us. And we'll do a crazy food vlog with some girls. We'll bring everybody. We'll bring some flowers. It'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm down. That sounds like fun, fam.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, man. So we're vibing with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit. The Fuck It list on YouTube. I'm going to go subscribe after this. We're going to tune in your, the escapade, every fucking country on the alphabetical order, which is insane. I mean, that's a call. That's a call. Life calling right there.
Yeah, man.
So you're fighting the good fight, bro. Keep going.
Much love.
Let's get it, man.
Yeah, dude.
Vibe with you. It's first smoke of the day. We're out.
Thank you.
Peace. Hey, stop. Before you leave, roll up another one. We got more episodes just like this. Click right here.